What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and welcome to a new episode, a special WrestleMania episode of Take It to the Table. Yes. I am joined by none other than the usual guest here. To my left is none other than Matthew. What's up, Matthew?
Nice to be here again.
Yes. And making his glorious return down below is none other than Mr. Rhymes. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Rhymes.
Hey, good to be back.
All right. So yes, you know what we're going to be talking about. It's been and gone. It has been WrestleMania, 2 nights of WrestleMania, we're just going to dive into all the matches, what we thought of it, what we thought of the nights, and also might dabble in a little bit into post Raw, if we must. but yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Do not mind the hair because I've got my appointment booked. I'm gonna get a trim, so don't worry about that. Do not hate. It's gonna or next time I'm gonna look glorious. All right. And also before we get into it, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And because a lot of people, I've seen the statistics. A lot of y'all, what the fuck are you doing? We see you, man. You're not John Cena. A lot of people that
I'm fully eating.
A lot of people that watch the channel or watch the videos are not subscribed. So please make sure you subscribe so you can be up to date with all the updates, everything, all that in between. All right. So yes, without further ado, let's take it to the table. All right. So WrestleMania, both nights, night 1 and night 2, finally. It has arrived and it's been and gone. Off the top of your head, guys, just a brief analysis, brief thoughts on it. What's the first word that comes to mind when when you think about the last 2 nights of WrestleMania?
I'd say night 1 was bad. To be fair,
Night 1 was
one word to sum up the whole thing. I said great.
There's
great. Still a couple of notches above great, but then there's so I would just say great.
Okay. So it was you say it was better than last year WrestleMania. Is it safe to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are you so apprehensive saying that?
I don't want to say because I don't want to say last year was bad purely because there's no fans. Last year was actually still a good show.
Oh yeah.
But it's I feel like last year, I don't know, maybe if it was just how. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because of how last year was or the vibe going into last year, but I felt like last year was the balanced card. So the first night was good, but then the second night was equally just as good. Like both nights had their ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this year, I don't know if it was just because of the overall hype of WrestleMania itself, or if I don't know what it was, but for some reason for me, like night 1 was just like the top tier.
Yeah.
And yet night 2, which weirdly enough had the more stacked card when you think about it, because it had all the title matches, it had the stipulation matches, it had all of that sort of stuff on night 2, but yet that one fell flat in comparison.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, to me, I can't speak over it. It fell flat to me. So it's kind of like, I don't know what went wrong or why it came off like that. That's just how I feel about WrestleMania.
Okay.
Honestly. But that's why I don't want to take that away from anything. So that's why I just say great. That's my one word to describe it.
Okay.
I didn't even realize he's actually said one word originally.
Fair enough. Well, you did. But yeah, all right. Well, yeah. Of course, we're gonna dive into each individual match and give our thoughts on it individually. As we all know, there was no kickoff show. But the first match of the card was Rain. The first match on the card was Rain. The reason it was because as soon as the event started, all the hype was there. Everyone was getting ready, all this stuff, and then Michael Cole and Samoa Joe comes up and says, "Yeah, we're gonna start in a minute, guys. It's a bit of rain. It was all halted. They had to go through all the typical protocols to make sure that it was all safe to do so. And then we got really some good and some really awkward unscripted promos from certain superstars.
Oh my God, right.
But it really shows how who's good on the mic. It really proved who's good on the mic and who isn't. Like Kevin Owens killed it. The New Day, obviously being the New Day, they're just natural. Drew McIntyre was okay, was all right. Braun Strowman, what the hell? That was absolute cringe.
Right.
Shane McMahon, I don't know. It felt like he was doing like a PR speech. It didn't look like, and he was meant to be a heel, but he had some babyface tendencies in his promo. It was really weird.
Right.
It was like, I'm excited, I'm ready to go. Oh, this kind of stuff. And then it was just like, when it came to Braun, it was like, oh yeah, I'll deal with Braun. He's stupid. But this is WrestleMania. We're ready. It was like really babyface ish. Who else had a promo? Bobby Lashley complete elbowed Shane McMahon, the son of the chairman of WWE, elbowed him out of the way, and just started.
I guess Shane is not Vince's son in this; he's just another superstar right now. So
I know, but it was just hilarious. Like considering how much he was a former general manager. He's all this kind of stuff, and he just elbowed him out of the way. Even though Bobby Lashley didn't really talk much, obviously he was more MVP, and MVP is very good in the mic. But yeah, it was just really out of nowhere. Let's say they were just trying to cobble things together just to just waste time. And then yeah,
it's like
go on.
Like with Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman, they're two people I could see like what else could WWE do with them, because there's no dream matches that people want to see them in.
Oh yeah, no.
Wow.
That's fair to say, to be honest. I'm so over them too.
It's such a fair statement. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's true. I'm tired of both of them. And I think I also blame this storyline that makes you think that way, because it was just fucking awful. It didn't make no sense. It was a rehash with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax storyline. But with that one, you kind of understand why that happened. But this did not make sense. It didn't fit Braun Strowman, and it didn't fit Shane McMahon. Why was he starting on him? And it was just all kiddie shit. It was just some preschool shit.
Stupid. We're gonna have a whole match because you called me stupid.
I have his report card, and it's all D's. Like, that's how you know he is. Like, fuck off. Like,
it's not gonna lie. I'd actually make a statement about Braun Strowman that I know both of you are gonna laugh when I say this.
Please do.
Honestly, I don't want to see Braun Strowman as a champion. I don't even want to see him in the company. I want him to get released.
Oh God, that's man.
Well,
released,
I can understand that, because it's like, what is there left for him to do?
They love him. Look, they flipping got he's got his own sound effect when he's running around the ring. They got plans for him. Like and he's Vince McMahon's wet dream. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, unfortunately. Because there was at one point where I was calm with Strowman when he had that feud with Bobby Lashley, the first one. That was mint. But obviously, you have Paul Heyman at the helm, and obviously he knew how to work it. Ever since he left, Braun Strowman just turned into a fucking, as Ride say, waste man.
Right.
This is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, after all that, and obviously we saw Michael Cole and Samoa Joe's latest garms in the poncho. Eventually,
Rain Mac.
Sorry, Rain Mac poncho. It was whatever. It was just hilarious. Eventually the show got started. And the of course the first match was Bobby Lashley. Everyone called it. It was Bobby Lashley against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. The winner of that match was Bobby Lashley. He won by submission with the Master Lock. Sorry, I mean the Hurt Lock.
Happy.
Yes, I was really ecstatic. I was fearing that they were just gonna, like you said, we said it ourselves. Like, it's typical WWE that they want to start the show big, send us to get the fans pumped up, do a babyface run or do a babyface win. It was, the writing was on the wall, but they held their gun, they stuck to their guns, and the right person won.
They gave us Bobby Lashley win. Like, some of the ones where when he got him in the what they call it, the Hurt Lock and whatnot. Right?
Yeah.
And that one where, when he fades at first, and he gets up and he did that whole thing where he like ran into the turnbuckle, he flipped over,
yes,
that weird pinfall.
Yeah.
And Bobby Lashley like held on. And then I was like, okay, then so you're gonna probably drag this on for a good minute or so. And then Drew faded. And then once he faded, he put his head on the mat, right? And then the ref is like feeling him or whatnot. And then once the ref kind of got up and you heard him say, ring the bell, I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
Bobby Lashley retired. I didn't see it was one of those ones where, so I think I remember watching the WrestleMania when Naomi won the Battle Royal. And I was like, WrestleMania can only go down from here. So she won it. So for me, that's how I felt when Bobby Lashley won. Is that the first match of the night, an hour late from starting, and they gave me that win. So I was like, WrestleMania can only go downhill. Like, legit. I knew this happened.
But honestly, I was thinking though that, like, if he lost, that would have been just stupid because the way they changed his entrance, called him the Almighty WWE Champion. And all sorts of changes, that would have been gone to waste, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have gone to waste, but and I do feel like him beating Drew and in the fashion that he did legitimized him.
100%. It was clean.
I think even right. I think even I have to like call myself out because I think if you recall that Money in the Bank last year, I was saying I'm not buying into these two.
Yeah.
So, I was like, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre for the title and whatnot. I'm not paying for that marquee. I'm not. And I think only by Hell in a Cell or whatever one that we did, and I was discussing that I wanted Bobby Lashley to win the Royal Rumble, and you guys all looked at me like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like there's plans for him and whatnot, so I'm kind of hoping they're gonna go with that. And yeah, obviously he ends up as champion and he goes into Mania and walks in and walks out as champion. I'm just here for that.
100%. I'm definitely buying it. Obviously, there's been a couple bumps in the road in terms of disbanding the Hurt Business and whatnot. But and making him seem a bit more of a coward heel when he shouldn't. He should he's the almighty. Why go say, oh yeah, he's the almighty champion, but he's sending all the jobbers out to go and try and take out Drew McIntyre, and he's acting as if he's running away from Drew and all that stuff. But they
we can say that about Roman though.
Sorry.
We can say that about Roman because he gets Jey Uso to do most of his work.
Yeah, but Jey Uso is a decent threat. He's not a goober. Bobby Lashley went and tried and get freaking Drew Gulak and freaking Lucha House Party to try take out Drew McIntyre. Come on. Jey Uso is a bit more of a threat. So yeah. But I understand that Roman Reigns is he goes on and off with the coward thing in a way, but he does it in a certain way that it's not full on coward. It's only on and off, and it's the right level. So. Yeah. Yes, I like Roman Reigns now. Fuck it, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I do too.
Everyone does. That's what I'm saying. But it's like because I think I was anti-Roman at one point. Like I'm pretty sure on the show I was really anti-Roman with understandably so. But yeah. But with diverting. But
this match was what? It was 18 minutes long or something like that?
Yeah, this match was 18 minutes 20 seconds, and it didn't feel that. It was actually well placed, well paced. I felt like
it went on for hours. Like it was hours, but I felt like it was like a good 25 minutes.
Yeah,
an hour. That's what I thought. True. But then to be like, it's only 18 minutes. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So the
one last thing though.
Yep.
Have you guys seen Raw?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we will get into that. Trust me.
We'll go into that, yeah.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna dabble into Raw, post Raw. All right. So next match was the women's tag team turmoil match, and it was which consisted of obviously Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, which took a tremendous fall. That was hilarious.
I love that she made fun of it as well. I didn't like.
Oh, she had to.
One of those ones.
It was.
I feel like she would be one of the ones that I wouldn't be surprised if she was like one of those ones that was so butthurt by it and like she went like a huge embarrassment, tried to get it taken down, tried to get it removed, all that sort of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if she was that kind of girl. But the fact that she like literally when she went backstage, the picture of Titus O'Neil to be like she's now taking the crown. I'm like, okay, I'm still here for it now.
No, I hear that.
I like the sense of humor.
Yeah, 100%. Then we was Dana Brooke and Lana, Mandy Rose, Lana and Naomi, the Riot Squad, and Natalia and Tamina.
Billie and Carmella.
And who were my actual picks because they were the dark horses. Because it was just I thought that with the thing with Billie Kay, like she finally finds someone that she gels with or like gets certain wins that they were gonna somehow scrape their way into a tag team title match. But I thought it was almost going that way. because they got a couple sneaky wins at the beginning. But obviously they didn't win. But the overall winners of that match was Natalia and Tamina, who obviously received a tag team title match on night 2. For me, this match was meh. I couldn't. Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't.
Apologies. 1 second. I just realized. Going back to the first match. Rides has actually given me his thoughts on it as well. He gave me his review on it because obviously he can't be here, so unfortunately. So yeah, many apologies for that. I just realized. Where's his thoughts? Okay, so did he even leave it? Yep. Okay. Cool. So I haven't read any of his thoughts yet. So this is this is gonna be hilarious. So all right. So the WWE Championship match, he said, hard hitting, no bread, no water, just meat. Good solid opener to a pay-per-view. Match had a good build storyline. We all thought we knew the outcome, but they pleasantly surprised us. Not only was it a win, but a definitive win, and it was only the slightest of distractions from MVP, so can't even call it a cheap win. In fact, that's Drew's own fault. Why are you getting distracted by a man with a bad knee yelling, "You deserve to lose"?
Right.
Yeah, so...
You took that 1 second out in it to look at MVP. So
see, because at first I thought that was actually a miscue. I thought it was just like, oh shit, I'm supposed to divert, but yeah, it was. You're right. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfectly done. But yeah. Moving on to the tag team tournament match. Yeah, like I could care less about it. It was very sloppy at parts as well. There was definitely a couple botches, some miscues.
I feel like though what I will give to all of the superstars, not even just the women involved in this, but and all the superstars for the whole night. From when it was a wet night or a wet day, so they had to walk through that wet stuff to get to the ring. So then now their shoes and everything are gonna be wet, and it's gonna be like that damp atmosphere and whatnot. The fact that they still managed to actually put on great matches, considering that, it's like, I expected a few botches and a few slips and stuff to happen, but surprisingly enough, it didn't. I think there was only one. No, that was on night 2. No mind, we'll get to that.
Yeah, there was minimal botches. I think because they've been so geared up for this night, and there's front of fans what they've wanted to. They've missed. You could tell they missed them so much. Like after for a whole year, they made sure they wanted to get everything done correctly, and yeah, the match quality was just amazing. But yeah, I couldn't care about this match.
I had my thoughts on this one was just more that, like, so they paired Billy Kay and Carmella together randomly. I did think that if they were going to do that, it would have made sense to have made them the tag team on Raw, had Carmella be taken out on SmackDown, and seeing as SmackDown Kate fed as the kickoff show technically, like what was the SmackDown with the kickoff show?
Yeah.
So it would have made sense to have Carmella be taken out on SmackDown and then have Peyton Royce replace. Because like if Billy Kay can't find a partner, and no one wants to team with her, no one wants to be with her, the whole kind of story with that would be that, okay, she can't join anyone, no one cares and whatnot, or no one's trying to care. So the only person that's going to care is Peyton Royce, and Peyton Royce ain't doing anything right now. So it's put them back together. But splitting them up was so stupid anyway. Just to now pair her with Carmella, or pair Peyton Royce with Lacey Evans or whatever. Like it just seemed random to split them up in the first place. So that was one. And then 2, I get that they were trying to give Natty and Tamina the kind of buzz or make them kind of seem anything. However, considering they were the stronger team or the strongest team in that match, it would have made sense for them to have started and just lasted all the way through.
Yeah.
I thought that would have made them seem like a more of a credible threat.
Yeah.
And that's the only takeaway from this match. So like, the fact that they came in last and then won the whole thing, like I feel like the Riot Squad looked like the strongest team in that entire thing.
They were
the longest.
Yeah.
But so then it would have made sense for the Riot Squad to have won. But then if they're gonna go with Natalia and Tamina, then they should have come in the first set and then gone all the way to the end.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I do have a question though. How long was Carmella and Billy Kay a team?
They were put together on SmackDown.
Oh, I thought it was just on WrestleMania because I think myself on the first thing, I didn't remember them ever being on it.
before it was just 4 teams, and then on SmackDown, when the 4 teams were having their they had like a promo where they were all like facing off, and then Billie Kay came through the middle with her resume or whatever, and then
Yeah.
they were kind of trying to like shoot her to the side, and then Carmella turned up and was like, she'll team with Billie Kay, blah
Yeah.
blah, and then next thing you know, in the promo, it's like, oh, now they're in the match as well. So it was like, oh, okay.
Even though like
again,
the WWE themselves, they spoiled they spoiled the surprise prior to that segment even airing. I saw it. I think it was on some dirt sheets. They said, yeah, like it was already posted of Billie Kay and Carmella being a tag team before that. I think it like a day before that segment even aired. So it was like, what the fuck? But yeah, whatever. Rise's thoughts on that match. He just said, I apologize, but I remember nothing about this match. That's what he said. So yeah, moving.
Pretty uneventful though.
Yeah, it was whatever by the numbers. Next match was Cesaro against Seth Rollins, and Cesaro came up with a W on this one. Now, I pegged this one to be one of the match of the nights. One of the matches of the night. And yeah, they definitely delivered. They have great chemistry. Cesaro got his W, like well deserved, long time coming. He proved that he can be
do like a neutralizer and then catch him again and do it again. What was the end? I can't remember. It was something flashy. It wasn't just a straight up finish, wasn't it? Like did he do a neutralizer, then roll out and then do it again?
No, it wasn't like a double neutralizer. It was I remember right now. It was just the counter where he would like Seth Rollins was gonna go for the curb stomp and he reversed it, did an uppercut, then did the neutralizer. But no, he did something invented. But I don't think it was 2 neutralizers. I don't think it was. Maybe it could have been. Maybe I don't remember. But it was a nice finish. It was a good finish. There was great counters, very innovative counters in that match. Anyway, it was great. Yeah, well deserved. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
I think it was a good match. Like, I liked Seth Rollins' new theme. Because literally, the first time I heard it, I didn't know what to make of it. But when I've heard it more, I like it. And yeah, the right person won.
100%.
I wouldn't have been mad if Seth Rollins won though. But then, yeah, because in that match, I literally went in with Seth Rollins could win, Cesaro could win. Either way, I'm happy.
All right, fair enough.
Like, if Seth won, then especially with the name of the next pay per view, like,
for fuck's sake! Yeah, I just remembered.
Continue.
Wait, Seth won WrestleMania Backlash.
Fucking, it's just gonna be reruns. It's just rematches galore. I'm just like, they usually do that for when they do their WrestleMania tours around the world. They just do WrestleMania rematches or WrestleMania, like they always do like rematches for their world tours after WrestleMania. But yeah, it's so lazy. WrestleMania Backlash. So that's why we're just getting reruns. Anyway, so yeah, what Rise has said in this one was amazing wrestling match, the best pure wrestling match on the card as expected. So happy for Cesaro. Both participants did great. No critiques. And then he said, note that I had fallen asleep, woke up, and saw the winner. Watched it from the start. The next day, knowing the outcome, but still thoroughly enjoyed. Shows the match has replay value. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'd say it was. It definitely has replay value. It will definitely pop up on WWE's YouTube channel eventually. And it was very good. So yeah, next up was AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
This match was a confusing one.
Yeah,
I personally have no complaints. Well, there was it was confusing, but
so,
I have no complaints. I'm glad AJ Styles won.
So for those that don't know, basically AJ and Omos, because he says almost. I'm tempted to say almost, but it's Omos. They defeated the New Day, and became the new Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't remember. To me, it was a by the numbers New Day match up until the end. Like nothing. Obviously, everyone was eager to see what Omos could do. And I think he delivered it. He shows how intimidating he is. However, the way he moves in a way is almost like the Great Khali.
Yeah, but I think that's how they're building him to be like that.
Maybe so, but I don't want another Great Khali at the same time because like he didn't throw no kicks, but if any, he was just chucking people around and yeah, I mean it's good that obviously that's what they want. They meant him to be this big behemoth, this tall behemoth, but
Well, that's how Kane debuted. Though Kane debuted as like a big behemoth, and then kind of became a bit more fluid and athletic as time went on. So you never know. Maybe Omos might become that later on, but for now, they're just keeping him to being strictly strong and strictly strong style and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not upset about that. But then, like I said, the match itself was just confusing because it's like the New Day were the good guys. However, they were being very heelish in the match.
yeah, exactly.
I can actually tell that. Well, I can actually tell, but I noticed that Omos and the Great Khali have the same finisher. You know that double choke slam.
Oh right,
True.
yeah, fair point. What the hell?
But in terms of that, like, other than that, I think the match did what it had to. It put over Omos and AJ. But then I said from the get go that I thought that they were going to win. I didn't feel like they were going to have AJ start on WrestleMania and lose.
Yeah. 100%.
But AJ Styles is the Grand Slam champion now as well.
Officially, yeah.
Yeah, officially he is. I don't think he hasn't been IC champion yet, has he?
Oh, he has.
IC.
Yeah.
International.
He was champion last year.
I don't remember him being the IC champ. With the white belt. With the white belt.
I know, the black one, the current one.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, he beat Daniel Bryan last year.
Daniel Bryan was Intercontinental champion. Where was I during this time?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm double checking this. 1 second.
I don't remember AJ Styles. I don't remember AJ Styles being in.
Yeah, he was. Fucking hell. Yeah, one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah. He did lose to Jeff Hardy, didn't he? Why do I not remember that?
It was forgettable. Yeah, even I don't remember that.
Right. Okay. And how?
Oh yeah, it was the tournament. It was the Intercontinental Championship tournament, wasn't it?
On SmackDown.
Yes.
On
Yes.
SmackDown.
Yes.
And AJ won against Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Wow, I really forgot about that.
that was right in the thick of when it was empty arenas. So yeah,
right.
That's why.
What was Wright's thought on this match?
His thoughts was good tag team match, nothing amazing, but some nice spots, entertaining. The aura of Omos was there. AJ and Omos winning was surprising. Wanted New Day to win, as he did. But I'm intrigued about where AJ and Omos go from here. I don't hate it. That's a good point. They didn't even show up on freaking
Raw, yeah,
they didn't show up on Raw, which is freaking weird. But
people that are meant to be there were not there. It was just like such a bad show.
Yeah, again, we'll get into that later. We'll definitely roast that in a minute. So yeah, that was that match. Let me just. How long was that? Hold on. That match was 9 minutes 45 seconds.
Which bad. Again, I felt like that match was quite long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I felt like. I thought that the match was longer than it was, but when you read back some of these times, you're like, really? Like, it was that short?
Yeah, 100%. All right, so next match was Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. Now, as we all know, I'm sure you all feel the same. We could care less about this match, this whole storyline, this whole stick. We just wanted to be like, I honestly thought this was going to be I was just gonna fall asleep for this match. I was really I just could not care. Not to say that it was great, but it was okay. It was all right. There was some decent spots. Obviously, Shane did his usual stick, falling off high things. He's 50-odd years old and he's breaking his back and shit.
I did think they were gonna throw him through the announce table. I did think that. I don't know why. I thought that's where he was gonna go. I thought he was gonna do the overkill slam. He was gonna go to the announce table.
That is a risk.
I was like, they didn't tell the announce table people to move, and they were still sat there, and he was just holding Shane, and I was like, is he gonna do that? And I was like, I was waiting for it, and then for him to just throw him in the ring, I was like, oh, anticlimactic, but still like.
He was like, I want someone to die today.
Well, no, because he did it to Kevin Owens. Come on, he did that to Kevin Owens. He threw him off the cage into the announce table, so Kevin Owens has already done it.
I guess. I think
Shane could equally have done that.
I think he's tired of doing it because them things hurt. Like he did it. He's done it twice now and he's missed. He did it. Try to do it to Undertaker. He tried to do it to Kevin Owens. He both missed. So them things hurt. So I think he's tired of doing it. He just went. That's what is it? They always say, was it 15 feet in the air when it comes to steel cages? Is it 15 feet? Yeah.
15.
Hell in a Cell is about 30 feet. Fuck that.
True, yeah. It's like I did think they were gonna swerve us though, like they did with Shane and Miz. I thought that they were gonna do some kind of something for Shane to get the win. But
you mean what is it? What was the one? Was it him and Roman? Remember that match? It was a steel cage match.
That was the greatest. That was the
It was one of them Saudi shows. Yeah. Where everyone was expecting Roman to win, but for some reason he won.
Wait, what happened in that match again?
Remember, it was a steel cage match. It was Shane against Roman, and then I think it was a clean win. Shane won it over Roman clean. It was like over via a pin. I'm pretty sure he won clean as well. It was fucking weird. See, no one remembers. I think it was either Crown Jewel. It was one of them Saudi shows. But yeah, Shane won.
Before WrestleMania, was it?
Sorry?
The one that was just before WrestleMania.
I can't remember. I just know it was a Saudi show. And it was a cage match. And
I think it was the one that Goldberg won because I didn't watch that one.
There you go. It was either way, the whole show was shit. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, I was expecting. I wouldn't surprise if they did a swerve.
It is what it is. Like the right person won. What did Ride have to say about this one?
Ride said, better than expected. Shane played his role perfectly. Braun wasn't boring. These two put on a good solid cage match. Good use of the cage. We all knew Shane was gonna have some kind of jump or fall. Yet what actually happened was still surprising. I'm always down for I'm always down for overcome the bully ending. Now the feud needs to end forever.
Right, but then how can someone the size of Strowman be getting bullied by someone the size of Shane? It makes no sense. But we digress.
Again, he said, no, I had fallen asleep, woke up and saw the winner, watched it from the start the next day, but knowing the outcome, but thoroughly enjoyed, showed the match still has replay value. I don't know why he has to put that, but yeah. But yeah.
Not gonna lie, I didn't actually watch the match myself. Like, I fell asleep and then woke up at the start of Sasha versus Bianca.
Jesus, okay.
You missed you missed the Bad Bunny match.
Yeah, I was about to say that the next match was the co-main event. So it was Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Much more better than it needed it to be. I completely thought it was just gonna be that by the numbers celebrity match. It was actually pretty solid. Right,
like I think if you remember in the group chat, I put that I thought it was a swerve that they gave us like an actual match for the WWE title match because I thought we were just gonna get a spot and finish the best.
Yeah.
But then, and so for this celebrity match, you're just kind of thinking, okay, then, so, Damian Priest is chucked in there, so therefore Bad Bunny is going to do the least amount of work. He's probably getting like a punch, do that splash that he does from the ropes and stuff like that, like little bits and pieces. But no, he actually like was working the entire match, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he really put the work in. I respect it. Like, he's definitely up there with, obviously he's not, I think I said also in the group chat that he might not be like Ronda Rousey level, but he's not Snooki level. You know what I mean? He actually puts in that work. Like, he's definitely up there with Stephen Amell and who else is a good worker?
It was. Well, I'd say in terms of the people outside of the WWE.
Go on.
I think Stephen Amell, wasn't he like in Impact something like that?
No, it was AEW. Well, he did work a WWE match. He was at SummerSlam, and then he did All In.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, like they that's how you know they respect the business. He pulled off a Canadian destroyer on the concrete floor, fucking killed it.
Yes,
that was
like, boom.
Definitely. Yeah, totally. I can't fault the match. It was very entertaining, way better than it needed to be. Yeah. What about you? What about you, Matt? What do you think of it?
Because would you say he's better than Pat McAfee?
No.
It has Pat McAfee. No, Pat McAfee was good. He's the Adam Cole match, isn't it?
Yeah, against Adam Cole. Yeah, nah, maybe not Pat McAfee levels. Maybe not. Pat McAfee, he put a great first impression. He's up there with Ronda Rousey. He's definitely up there with Ronda Rousey. But Yeah, but Bad Bunny, if I would, I would want to welcome him having a singles match. I think he could be able to pull
Right.
it off later down the line.
Come back and have a match against AJ Styles.
Ooh,
I'm here for that.
ooh, yeah, AJ Styles would make him look like $1,000,000. Him or like Daniel
Right,
Bryan or
like,
something. 100%.
right, like it'd be like, okay, yeah, so we'll come match with like an in-ring leader, and then yeah, he'll definitely have a good match.
Hell yeah, yeah, I would definitely be down for that. It looks like that's him done because I saw the promo afterwards. It was a night 2 where it looks like he's gonna do his world tour. Well, hopefully do his world tour. So yeah, you ain't gonna see
Next
him
year,
for a
though,
while.
right? 2022.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like he's done. But yeah, it was a great first impression. Can't complain.
The two things I saw from that match though was the Canadian Destroyer and the Falcon Arrow, and I was impressed by that.
Yeah, I was impressed by the Falcon Arrow. I was like, oh, Falcon Arrow, because anyone can do a suplex, like anyone can do a suplex.
Yeah.
In the zero. But then when he like did it, and then like did the sit down and everything, I was like, wow, clean.
Yeah, very good.
Mind you, he had Morrison selling it, so
Oh yeah,
clean, mate, sold. But I was like, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Morrison had trust in him to do it, and everyone in that match had trust in him to do it. And so yeah, I can't fault that match.
I mean, it was.
I feel like
I was expecting it to be full cringe at the beginning because with the entrances with the 23 bunnies and the annoying song coming through. I don't know why they had to do that. That would really piss me off.
I was having a discussion with her about, because I was like, I feel like Miz and Morrison have the capacity to be both so corny and so cringe, but be so cool at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
They came out and they're like singing, they're performing this song and performing it bad as well. Like they were going out of their way to be so bad in performing it, but at the same time, it was like they look so cool doing it, and I think it's like really hard to like.
Yeah,
I just think that Miz and Morrison are cool, like genuinely. So, but then it's like, kind of like what Edge and Christian used to be, isn't it? Like, so corny and so lame, but at the same time so cool.
Yeah. No, I get that. The match was 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Rise's thoughts on it was a show stealer. It's a toss-up between this match and the main event for best overall match of the night when we're talking entertainment, excitement, pace, etc. Played the good guys versus bad guys thing perfectly. Bad Bunny could legit be a superstar. He exceeded everyone's expectations, was genuinely glued from start to finish. Miz and Morrison did a great job in making their opponents look good. Priest really helped balance things out and helped put the spotlight on Bad Bunny. And happy that Bad Bunny got that experience.
Okay, so just random segue, but thoughts on Damian Priest? Like, I remember him in NXT.
Yeah.
I don't kind of get it. Is he like an archer or something?
I don't know, because I thought it was someone from hell. Like someone.
Right, because even on NXT, he was very kind of like, is he meant to be like an archer? Is he meant to be like an Aleister Black kind of character? Like,
yeah.
He was supposed to be. But then at least the way that he would look, it was just like, okay, he's just badass and he does the whole archer thing, so I can roll with that. These colors, I don't know who told him to go with those colors, because it was very, very hard to to take him as I'm supposed to take him, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I guess he's supposed to be like this badass archer type, mysterious kind of character, but you came out wearing fluorescent purple or fluorescent chromey purple. It was kind of like, and it wasn't even like a subtle amount. Like, how Hawkeye looks on the Avengers game. It's like a subtle bit of purple on a black outfit. Right. If you would have done that, there's a little bit of color, then okay, you're still on a serious level, and about full on bright purple. And then on Raw, he was talking, right?
Yes.
And the voice, the purple, the presentation, it doesn't
mix. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I get that.
So it's like, so I understand, like, if you're going to do all white gear, if you're going to do all black gear or anything like that, I'm not saying don't have any color, but it's just like, I guess he could probably use some retooling or some repackaging. slight little tweaks, in my opinion. But I mean, but I like him in the ring, and I liked him before this match. But yeah, just seeing him in this match and then seeing him in the Raw prior, I'm kind of confused. I'm not sure.
I honestly don't know what he's meant to be. I'd rather class him as just mysterious. I don't know about this Archer thing, because at first it was, like I said, I thought it was someone that was meant to be someone that worships the devil kind of thing, but with like a dark, deep voice and like almost Aleister Black kind of style. Um, uh, and then all of a sudden, but he's just pairing up with Bad Bunny, and he just seems to be normal. He's just someone that's obviously is he Puerto Rican, I think, or from
I
that
don't
kind
even
of.
know. That's just it. I honestly
I
thought
don't
he was
know.
like
Yeah,
meant to be. I thought he was going to be like native or something like that, like Native American, like that sort of like
yeah,
maybe like tribal chief or that sort of like era. And then he kind of was like, oh, he's speaking Spanish and he's teaming Bad Bunny. So I was like, oh.
yeah.
Then now again,
I got a
like,
feeling.
I don't get.
I got a feeling that's just WWE. The main roster just diluted him. Like I think he was a certain character back in NXT, which like I said, he was more like anti, like almost not demonic, but kind of leaning in that kind of angle, and he was more serious. And then obviously he went to main roster, and it just completely diluted the whole thing. Let everyone know that he's Puerto Rican and he likes aiming. Like that's what they do. They always dilute the character that was in NXT. Because he had a badass entrance. So, sorry to cut you off, Matt, but he's like he had a badass entrance in NXT where you see it's all dark, and then he's like he moves to different spots in his entrance. Like you see him on the left, then you see him on the right, then you see him in the middle, and then he does the Archer thing with badass. And this one now is just black, and he just does that. They just dilute it. It's just so fast paced. I don't know what to do.
Screen, right, and then his graphics come down. But yeah, anywho, I'm just saying, I'm just finding him confusing at this point.
Yeah, I don't know him as a character. I don't know what his persona is. Yeah, I'm lost. Yeah, I can't. I totally agree with that. What was you gonna say, Matt? Sorry.
But not gonna lie, I don't think it's the main roster that's diluted him. I think it was actually because I have a fair idea of what I think personally. The point where he was going downhill, and that was right after he lost to Finn Balor. Like at a takeover.
Right.
Oh, and then what? And he was like teaming with Leon Ruff. Is that his name?
Yeah. That's
right. Yeah. See, I never watched him after that. Like when he was also feuding with Johnny Gargano for the title, I didn't really care much from after that. I didn't really follow him much. Yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah. After pretty much after he lost to Finn Balor, I just not intentionally, I just didn't care for his character anymore after that. Like it was really weird.
Right.
So yeah. Turned face.
It was face, isn't it? He suddenly turned face, yeah. And I just I was just like, oh, I think maybe that's why I was just like, I don't like seeing him as a face. His role is a heel. I liked him as a heel, more than he is as a face. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, moving on to the main event of the night, which was of course the SmackDown's women's title match, which consisted of Sasha Banks and the 2021 Royal Rumble winner, Bianca Belair. Wow. What
moment.
What can we not say about this match? It was obviously, it was defining because obviously it was the women's main event.
The opening promo, that was like, I feel like that opening promo gave Austin Rock at WrestleMania a run for his money. In my opinion. That's a run. It's up there with that promo.
Okay.
Hype in the match.
Yeah, we need to discuss about it. Maybe like just what good promos could rival Austin Rock, because I still think that's one of the greatest, if not the greatest promo ever, that Austin Rock one. The music, it was just perfect. So, but we'll talk about it another time. But the promo was great. The entrances were awesome. You can see that it didn't really hit them until they actually stood face to face to each other in the ring. They started bawling.
Yeah, and then it's one of the ones that I was like, okay, so I'm like, what am I guess my third come down now of the night. Yes, after I had my edibles and stuff like that. So at that moment and whatnot, at that moment, it's one of the ones that you're kind of sat there and you're just like, when they're basking it, I'm just like, no, don't do this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even when Naomi was getting the "you deserve it" chance and whatnot, it's like you feel the emotion in there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, and then they're both gonna do that, and it's like you see the crowd was going ham for them, and they're both there. Sasha Banks is breaking character because she's like, she's got to hold it in.
Yeah.
But then Bianca Belair is just like, no, she's like, keep it in, and then it's like, oh man, I feel this moment for them. I feel it.
100%. Yeah, it was a feel good moment, and the match didn't disappoint. It was all a blur. Like it was quite a lengthy match as well. I mean, it was 17 minutes 15 seconds. It did not feel like that at all. Like it was just the chemistry
I feel
between
like
them two is great. Like it's
right.
it's to the point where you don't need to put them as a tag team. They're good as rivals.
I do think that
Oh
if they
man.
are going to do the WrestleMania Backlash and they're going to get their rematch,
Oh yeah,
I do
100%.
think I think it needs to be the marquee match on the card, not the main event, just a marquee match. So if it's
Yeah.
going to be an opening match, you give them like an unlimited amount of time and let them just tell a story
Yeah.
and let them just go for it. Like, or give them the middle of the card or whatever. Just it needs to be in a prominent spot. Like, don't dilute that match and make it be a filler. Because like,
Yeah.
from what they put on, then they can only go up, and they should only go up.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, definitely. I think going to the Backlash event, I think it's just going to be everyone getting a rematch. Everyone's just going to be getting a rematch with a couple maybe people added in. We're going to go into the Asuka and Rhea Ripley thing later, but yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of rematches. That's all we know. That's what we think it's going to be. But yeah, of course, Bianca Belair became new SmackDown Women's Champion. Well deserved.
After that big old hair whip.
Oh, the gunshot hair whip. Man, that was man. I whipped my hair back and that's what it was.
She had a whole you see the whole mark on her as
well.
Yeah,
she made sure everyone saw that. Like, you see this shit, right? She fucked me up. Like, it was crazy.
You okay?
You good?
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Huh?
No, I thought it was.
She did all of that. I do think that it would have been nice if maybe they gave us more near falls, but then I guess because the story had already been told, we didn't really need that. Maybe that might have taken away from the match. But then, I don't think having Sasha Banks kick out of a dozen of KODs or having her break out of the back segment a dozen of times was going to add anything to the match and whatnot. So yeah.
I think that would only work if they had if it had more of a defining finisher. Well, I know I know they're really protecting Bianca Belair's finisher. So it's meant to be like you're not supposed to kick out of it, and obviously Sasha Banks doesn't really have that. So I think it would only work like you know how with Triple H and Undertaker, you could do a good view their finishes with their pedigrees or their tombstone pile drivers, and it still can be an entertaining match. But I think because they protect Bianca Belair's match move finisher, and Sasha doesn't really have a rebuttal for that. Their finishes, their falls wouldn't really count, wouldn't really work. I don't think.
Right. And then she broke out of the back statement a few times, so
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Rise's thoughts on that match. He said he didn't think that this was the hardest storyline going into Mania. Didn't like the fact that it was the main event. I'm all for supporting women, especially black women, but I don't like when it's forced. The main event should be in the main event because it is the main thing happening on the show. Now, for political purposes, however, they were put in the main event spot, so they made sure that they were going in on so they made sure that they were going to put on the main event, and they bloody did. They deserve to be in the main event. Bunny, Priest, Morris, and Miz was amazing, but this women's match was amazing in a different way. Firstly, pure wrestling up there with Cesaro and Seth. The good versus evil thing was perfect. Sasha is an amazing heel. The lengths these two women went to show the world they deserve that spot. They showed me. The spot with Bianca's hair. My God, I winced. I yelled, Jesus Christ. It was like a gunshot. Nothing fake about that. It was a beautiful ending, and Bianca deserved it. So, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, what's your thoughts on, because I didn't think he would, what are your thoughts about him saying that he didn't think it was the main event? He didn't think it really deserved that spot. What are your thoughts on that?
I get where he's coming from, because admittedly, when I was just advocating for them to be the main event for the first night, because I think if you're gonna do WrestleMania on 2 nights, then it makes sense for the Rumble winners to main event both nights.
Yeah.
So I was just advocating it from that aspect, but then I think a lot of people were just advocating for it because of all of the stuff that comes with it. Whereas even when I looked online and I'm looking at the trend, it was like they just wanted it to be black women in the main event, black women going in for the title. It was more about creating that sort of, I guess, political vibe with it. Whereas I was just more saying, no, the Rumble winners should have.
Yeah.
It's only fair. But then yeah, I mean, but then yeah, I wouldn't. Would I have been mad if it had gone on first? I wouldn't have. I don't think it would have had the same feeling, but I wouldn't have been mad because again, so I felt like the first match and the last match on these 2 nights are the ones that matter.
Yeah. They're one that the first one sets the vibe, the other one ends it. Like you depend on that to end on a high.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so like I had yeah, but yeah, I think I would have been a bit like, oh, like it's unfortunate if it wasn't the main event.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been mad if it wasn't the main event.
Okay. Fair enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Matt? What do you?
I'm not gonna lie. It did deserve to go in the main event, but personally, I do debate whether the right winner won. Right person won, sorry.
Oh yeah, you wanted Sasha to win, didn't it? Yeah. What's it like?
What I'm thinking is like, she's now 6-0 at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
No, 0-6. Don't, not 6-0. I'm joking. I'm playing. Yeah.
0-6 at WrestleMania.
Like, they could have done a thing where she retains and then Bianca turns heel. I know like Bianca deserves that moment, but still, like, I just find it very.
But then also you have to see it as, because I had this, I saw this discussion on Twitter again as well. I responded to it, and I had a couple of retweets, and some people still, I guess, have the opinion that. So the person put that Sasha Banks is 0-5 at WrestleMania. So essentially, she is. They compared her to being Triple H at WrestleMania 2000 because he was the one that he needed to win. Or he needed to win, he needed the moment and whatnot, given his prior WrestleManias or something like that. So then I was like, I get that Sasha Banks does need at least one win, one WrestleMania win in her whatever. And yes, she is deserving of a moment. But that match alone was a moment. There was no loser in that match. So whether or not she won or whether or not Bianca Belair won, it was like there was no loser in that match. So that essentially was her moment. And if you look at all of her documentaries, all of her interviews that she's ever done, she's always said she's going to main event WrestleMania. She's always said that. And she's gotten to do that. So now I would not be surprised if on SmackDown she announces that she's going to retire. I would not be surprised.
Fair enough.
Think of it from the aspect of where women's wrestling has gone from when they kind of decided to start treating or using the women as equal to the men. What has Sasha Banks got left to do?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
She's been in the Rumble matches. She's been in the Money in the Bank match. She's
done plenty of first evers, like first ever Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell matches, Last Woman Standing matches, Iron Woman matches. She's been in a bunch of main events, and now she's got to not even just be in the main event, but main event of WrestleMania. And she went in as a champion. What more is there to do? Literally, what more is there to do?
You're right.
So I would not be surprised if on SmackDown it's like the Sasha Banks retirement party or something like that. I would not be surprised.
No, I hear that.
Plus, she's got work out aside and whatnot. She's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah, she's sorted there. She's set. Definitely.
Yeah, she didn't die in that. So I mean, and so as far as I'm concerned, like she's still got work and stuff to do outside of the ring. So if she was going to take her long break or whatever, I would not be surprised, and I wouldn't be upset about that.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't be upset about it. It's a good point. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, but you're fine with it being a main event, though. You say you have no problems with it, isn't it, Matt? You didn't have any problems with that.
Yeah, I had no problems with it.
Okay.
But that match was the equivalent to me. I don't know how both of you are gonna take it. Like, aside from all the main event and stuff like that, but I'm just talking about outcome alone. It reminded me of how I felt when Chris Jericho beat AJ Styles in his debut.
Oh, that pissed me off.
WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Yeah, that pissed me off. Yeah, that was that. I didn't understand that.
That one was really random. That Chris Jericho.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Nothing came out of it. I think if AJ eventually after that, even though he lost, the next night he won a battle royal to challenge for the WWE title. I remember that. You definitely
at Fast Lane or Backlash, whatever the WWE was.
Payback and then Extreme Rules.
Yeah, it was really random, but it was
So Jericho got the Mania win, but then AJ kind of came out on top for the next night.
Exactly, basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
sort of stuff.
really random. But anyway, so yeah, let's round up night 1 out of 10. You know what we usually do. So let me go with Matt. What's out of 10? What would you give night 1 of WrestleMania?
I'd say 9.
9, solid 9. Okay.
Yeah, same for me. The first night 1 is getting a 9.
9 as well. Okay, fair enough. It's gonna be 3 for 3. I say 9 as well. Definitely. I say definitely 9 was a solid 9.
I just had this discussion with my little brother before I was gonna film, and I was like, with night 1, I felt like it was the first time that WWE delivered a pay-per-view that was on par with the Takeover.
Yeah. Takeover was great.
On night one, every match mattered. Every match made sense. Every match was good.
Yeah.
There was no kind of like. The unfortunate thing is that you always get pay-per-view and you understand that like, okay, this one's just a filler slot. This one's in the death slot. This one's in, you know how the card goes, and you know that you can just go about your business and whatnot. But on this card, fair enough, I'm gonna say that the women's tag turmoil thing felt like it dragged a bit and was a bit sloppy in places.
Yeah, yes.
However,
that was the weakest.
It was still a good match. Yeah, it was the weakest, but it was still a good match. And then it's like, every single match that they had that night, is like everyone took their time, everyone told stories, everyone kind of just like was really in their element, and the whole night just delivered to me.
100%. Yeah,
which is so unfortunate when we go into night 2, but let's go into
No, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, it was a solid start. I mean, they made sure the fans went happy. Like, they made sure they put on the show, like, and you could tell that this night meant to every superstar that performed that night. They made sure, that's like, we missed you guys. Let us show you how much we missed you, and also put on a great show. And for the most part, everything made sense. The outcomes. So yeah, definitely. Rides gave
one last thing.
Yeah, go on.
I actually noticed that out of the whole weekend, the only 2 champions that retained were the world champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And that was that's normally that's meant to be like an unwritten thing at WrestleMania.
There's usually one that wins, one that's new, what's usually one retains, one loses. Yeah.
No, yeah. So one retains, one loses, or both lose.
It's
never meant to be like both of them retain.
Yeah, 100%. Brad said on his one for night 1, night 1 set the bar very high considering the disastrous start. They still pulled it off. Great to have the fans back too. 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
The only things that they've got 0.5 of improvements to do.
This is WWE, Rides. Come on now. Be real. No,
they always have at least 1 star of things that they could have done better.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, moving swiftly on to night 2. All right. So, the first match. Oh, boy. All right. So, first off, this one started on time. No hiccups, thankfully. So, so this one started on time. And then we started off with the match of Randy Orton versus The Fiend alongside Alexa Bliss. Now, all right, so let's just set the stage. So obviously Randy Orton comes out for some reason White doesn't work for him, which is weird to say.
White on him made him look like he had like a dad bod going on. I'm here for it though. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally here for it. But in the same breath, like he just looked larger in my opinion wearing white.
Maybe that might be it. Something was off. It just didn't look right. And I don't know when I see someone that wear white, like only very few people can pull off white. Like freaking when Seth Rollins came out in that white attire, was white and gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one just didn't seem right. And usually when I think of white, I kind of associate it usually with baby faces. Randy Orton is not a baby face.
Clean.
Sorry?
I just normally associate it with being clean.
Yeah, being clean. Yeah, like you're a baby face. Like, yeah. I guess obviously in this storyline you kind of see what he means, but either way, it just looked fucking weird. And then Randy Orton was in the ring. Alexa Bliss came out, and then she's you see this Instead of a jack in a box, the commentators kept on calling it a box-like structure. I don't know what the fuck's what's wrong with you. It's a jack in a box. Anyway, cranked it, and then you start seeing, and you see the Fiend. It was an awesome entrance, by the way. You see him coming through, and he was in the burnt thing, and then he just burns that off, and he's like the new mask, new attire, looked clean. The entrance came when he's coming out. The jack in the box I loved it. I was here for it. You see, he was obviously doing a little tribute to Brody Lee as well. He started doing his hand gesture thing, and it was perfect. Then he started leaping off. He was running the whole match. Like, yeah, Randy Orton was trying to put offense on him, and then obviously he was just shaking it off, like Mariah Carey. And then everything was going good. Also, another thing, it was also in red, bright red. The red flag in his back pissed me off. And then obviously Randy Orton was getting ready to eat a Sister Abigail, and then Kane Pyro comes up, and then you see Alexa Bliss there leaking black blood, looking like the Antichrist, and then for some reason. The Fiend was just mesmerized, and then he eats one RKO, and he gets betten because of a slight.
I think it was meant to come off like it was out of nowhere, and I think how can I put it? I think it was meant to be that the RKO caught him off guard, and it would have made sense if it was not necessarily a quick count, but a quicker count. And it was like, so everything was just happened so quick that the Fiend didn't get a chance to react because he was too busy focused on what was going on with Alexa Bliss. I think that's what they were trying to go for, but everything was done too slow. So it just didn't sink in or resonate.
It was just all like, whatever happened, it was confusing. The fans crapped all over it. They were just saying, boo, what the fuck is this? It was a quick match as well. It felt like it was actually longer, but it was only 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Crazy.
And then to top it all off, he was like, Randy Orton obviously ran away. Fiend was just still looking at her, and then fades to black, and nothing happens. They just disappeared. But fans were completely crapping all over this.
There was tons of booing. It's like even I would be doing the same thing. It's like
hell yeah, it was so underwhelming. I was so ready for it, like to set the tone. Fiend coming out with his banging entrance, all this kind. I was here for it. I was expecting a clean Fiend win. He was just gonna just go Finn Balor on him.
I told you guys that the Fiend was gonna lose. I actually said that.
Yeah, to me, that has officially the stock that the Fiend that the Fiend had. Sorry, the stock that the Fiend had back when he was Universal Champion, when it severely dwindled when Goldberg won. There was a strip. There was a shrapnel left of stock in him afterwards. But I think this completely killed him. This is like the Fiend's done. I'm so over the Fiend now.
I mean, you say that, but you're always gonna have a special place, so a little soft spot for the Fiend. You will.
It all depends on what happens, but right now I couldn't care less. Like, this was meant to be his redemption, and he still couldn't be. And he went down after one RKO. I know the RKO is one of the most protective finishes in wrestling today, but like it was just so underwhelming, and the fact that it just ended all convoluted and confusing. Like, there's even still no reason why Alexa turned on the Fiend, so to speak, even after Raw. Right. It just still doesn't make sense.
They didn't discuss it at all.
Yeah.
When you say it's the Fiend's redemption or all that sort of stuff, his redemption from what? Because if I recall, wasn't he the one that sourced out Randy Orton? So wasn't it Randy Orton's redemption to overcome the Fiend?
Maybe so, but everyone, because they were rooting, they placed the Fiend as the babyface, so it made sense. Yeah, the Fiend is the babyface in this.
I saw it as revenge.
Like Randy Orton has been acting heel. Actually, Randy Orton's been acting heel since he's been champion, for fuck's sake. He's a fucking heel.
Yeah, Randy Orton is the heel, but in this case, if the Fiend has chosen Randy Orton, it's now the story that Randy Orton has got to overcome the Fiend. Whether him being bad while doing it or him being good while doing it is a different story. But essentially, this story, the only way for this story to end is that if Randy Orton becomes like Alexa Bliss, or he comes out on the other end. So I don't get why you guys think the wrong person won.
It was just because, like, usually when someone's gone away from because he hasn't been on TV since what, TLC? That was what, 3-4 months ago. Usually when someone makes a grand return,
Randy Orton was meant to have overcome the Fiend then because he set him on fire. However, he hadn't overcome the Fiend yet because he was still dealing with Alexa Bliss, and then she brought back the Fiend at Fastlane.
Yeah.
So therefore now he's got to overcome the Fiend once and for all. So again, how did you not see he was going to win?
I think what really hurts me more. I think what hurts me more is just the way it ended. It was just shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what really pisses me off more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if it was, sorry.
Like, not gonna lie, I was confused a little bit. Like, even with the way he looked, like with the bad look, I didn't expect them to get rid of that so quickly. I thought they were gonna like just run with it for a while.
I think they just really because the backlash. I think they looked online and the backlash about it was just fucking stupid. And it looked like because with it on, he looked like he was all padded out and it just made him look huge, like big. But in this one, they like without it, it just looked like he lost some weight as well. Even though there's some theories, apparently that wasn't really the Fiend. I don't know why people are saying that. Some weird theories online saying that wasn't him. They said it was a former champion. I didn't read into it exactly who it was, but people are trying to say that it wasn't him. I don't know why, but whatever.
I heard people say that they thought it was Bo Dallas.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I heard something about it. Yeah.
But the Fiend was not looking that thin to be Bo Dallas, unless Bo Dallas put on a lot of weight, because Bray Wyatt famously has the huge upper half.
Yeah.
And then he goes like a triangle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's how the Fiend looked. So
I thought he looked a bit slimmer, like he looked more leaner. That's why I thought. But I don't know. Like I said, it's most likely it most definitely was him. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying what was said online. People saying it wasn't him. But yeah, either way, a really weird start to like the streak was broken in terms of consistent good matches. Like that completely eradicated the streak.
Yeah.
So moving on to hold on. Let me just go to I've not read any of these notes. I'm just reading live from here. Why it is Wyatt versus Orton. LOL. That's it.
That was his comment.
That's it.
See, I told you guys. So therefore, all you can do is laugh because you're like, you guys put all of your eggs into the Fiend because you guys wanted.
Yeah, I want him to because I want him to be a credible character. Like they've like I said, they've done so much damage to him that is like I just wanted him to have a bit more stock. But because of that, I have no faith in him now. I couldn't care less. I don't want to see him as champion. I don't want him to go start doing all these mind games with people. I don't care anymore. Unless they do something for me to bring it back. That's why I had stock in him because there is potential there.
But then, and I get where you're coming from, but you have to understand.
Yeah, I understand with the outcome. Yeah, surely, obviously, it makes sense for Randy Orton to win, but I don't care. I just want the Fiend to stop losing.
With any person that he faces or any person that he chooses, the whole point is that the Fiend is a character that has to be overcome.
So it's that basically how Bray Wyatt was at the beginning when he was normal Bray Wyatt, the first run. That's how it was.
I guess so. Because it's like the idea is that once you're involved, now you have to overcome it. I think John Cena right now is the only person that hasn't because after Funhouse he just disappeared. Yeah. But then he came back at WrestleMania the year afterwards, but he didn't.
No, he hasn't been back. He hasn't come back since. No. So yeah, that was the Wyatt versus Orton match. Next up was the tag team match for the women's tag team championship. So it was Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Natalya and Nobody Is Meaner Than Tamina. And Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won, retained via submission. I was really surprised at this. I was expecting new champions. I was 100%, and the crowd was into Tamina. Like,
right.
It was crazy.
If they were gonna actually listen to how the fans are reacting as opposed to what they had written in stone, then it would have made sense to have had new champions.
Yep.
However, like I said to you guys, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are not going to drop those titles. So
yeah, this match was okay. It was there was a couple botches. Again, this was also a bit sloppy. In my opinion, definitely again the weakest match on the card. Which is
you thought that one was the weakest match?
Yeah, I thought that one out of the whole card, yeah, was definitely the weakest.
Okay.
I'm quite. Besides Randy Orton and the Fiend, I mean that's just a fucking laughable. But I mean this this was definitely in terms of like since the match went how it's supposed to, like it was an actual match, no hijinks or anything like that. This was in terms of wrestling was the weakest. Yeah,
Even then, it's still kind of like an eyebrow raiser for me, but
fair enough. This one went on for 14 minutes 20 seconds. I personally didn't. I was like, it just ticked me off that they actually kept it, but it is what it is. What about you, Matt? What did you think of it?
To be honest, I didn't really care about it.
You didn't watch it.
Fair enough. So
I watched it, but then I just thought to myself, like, I don't know, really. It just can't be done.
I felt very well, that match happened when it finished.
Well, Ride's response in this one, he said, let's just get this out of the way. Good back and forth match, really nice counters, cool spots, hard hitting moments, but terrible result. Spits on ground.
Right, like so I think the ending was, it really did give everyone the ending was like
it went out with a whimper.
Like, okay, yeah, it's one of those ones that, you know, it's like how can I put it? You know, where something as little as the finish is the reason to throw away the entire match.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So like the match itself was you know, it stood. Okay, if you look at it in comparison to what women's tag matches that we have had, this match was actually pretty solid, and was going in the direction of being really solid. And then you gave us a whack finish, and you're just like, oh, just throw the whole match away now.
Yeah.
It's like, just throw the whole match away now. We're over it now.
Yeah.
That's how this match felt for me.
100%.
I mean, not gonna lie, my winners were the Riot Squad. Personally, I think they should have won the titles.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier about the tag team turmoil match. Is that if they were gonna have Natty and Tamina go on to the second night, it would have made sense for them to come in first and looked like the stronger team, because of all the teams, Riot Squad looked like the strongest.
Yeah.
So therefore, it would have made sense for them to get the title match. But you know.
Yeah, 100%. Next match on the card was Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn with Logan Paul in his corner.
God.
Oh gosh, okay, I was looking forward to your spot. Go on.
So just for clarification, because I'm really bad with social media guys or any person who's not like a an celebrity. But with Logan Paul, isn't he the guy that didn't he go to like Japan and stuff?
Yes, it's him. Yeah.
So why is he on WWE TV?
Because he has a big match against a well-known MMA fighter. He's like, obviously he's had match. I think he's the one that faced KSI.
No, that's his brother. The brother has the match against the MMA fighter, but he was the one who faced KSI.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I think it's just basically for name value. He's one of the biggest YouTubers in the planet right now, unfortunately. That's the sole reason. Simply because it's like you said, it has a big match coming up soon, and for marketing purposes, like it's a great way to get the kids to watch WWE, because that's what WWE likes to do. They like to cater to the kids, that's the reason. Well, that's the sole reason why. Obviously, he's obviously apologized for that shit, and he's made up for it. Like he doesn't do any crazy wacky stuff out there since then. But he's still an asshole. He's still an asshole. I don't rate him.
Mind you, though, this match was actually pretty fun.
The match was good, and I was happy to see that Logan Paul didn't really interfere in this match at all. He was just on the side.
They kept showing him a lot though, which is really.
They have to. They have to pander to the kids, his demographics, so they had to. But yeah, like he wasn't on commentating. He wasn't doing anything. He was just there, which was good. He ate that stunner sweetly though.
Mm-hmm.
He ate that stunner sweetly. Because I really thought he suffered from whiplash. I thought his neck was broke. Like, it was bad. But yeah, other than that, like, you wouldn't expect anything more. You wouldn't expect anything less from a Kevin Owens and a Sami Zayn match. They're best friends in real life. They have great chemistry. There was some reminiscent. There was some elements of their previous match getting Battleground. The commentators made sure you knew about that. This is exactly what happened at Battleground in 2016 or whatever it was. And yeah, like of course Kevin Owens was gonna get the W. Makes sense. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, if Sami Zayn meant to be a conspiracist and whatnot, then as far as he's concerned, the whole world had to get him. So of course he was gonna lose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For me, I wasn't a big fan of the whole feud, like, at all, really.
It was quickly just put together. It was just an excuse for them to have a match on the card. It was quickly cobbled together. They knew that they knew there was going to be a great match. Fair enough. I don't think this is Sami Zayn's second Mania since, I think, because he had one last year and that was shit.
Yeah, but then last year doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying. Like this, so if anything, this is quite possibly his first official Mania. Like in terms of crowds and stuff. Like I said, the one last year was shit.
Him and Kevin Owens were in the one that AJ Styles lost to Chris Jericho. They were in the ladder match.
WrestleMania 2032.
Oh my bad, I forgot about that.
And do you remember, like, he did that backwards German suplex to Kevin Owens into ladder? And
yeah. No, Zack Ryder won that match.
Yeah,
but I'm saying Sami Zayn.
Oh right. Yeah. You're right. You're right. So I thought he was talking about who won that match, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it was good. It was by the numbers. Can't really fault it. What did Wright say on that one? He said, everything I said about Rollins and Cesaro applies here too. The pure wrestling maybe of the night. These two will be great opponents. I'm intrigued as to where things go from here with Sami and his conspiracy theories. Glad KO got the win. Logan Paul didn't really add much to it at all, to be honest. Me adding logic to WWE. I did wonder why he got the stunner. He was being the good guy. Austin didn't stun Tyson, but meh. Again, note that I had fallen asleep, woke up and saw the winner, watched it from start to the next day. This is like, what the fuck? Wait, this is like the third match in, and he's already as my mom used to say, draw ball.
Yeah, because night two just didn't have the same pizzazz. But,
yeah. That's but yeah, moving swiftly on.
How long was that match?
That match was 9 minutes 20 seconds.
Wow, 9 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, next match was Sheamus against Riddle. Jesus, now this match was hard hitting. This was obviously for the United States Championship, and Sheamus wins and defeats Riddle for the title. Like I said, it was hard hitting as well. It was there was one moment that it was sloppy, but they saved it. I think it wasn't. You can't really. It was to a point where you can't really call it a botch because he didn't like fall or like on his ass or anything. Like he just carried on with the move and then finished it off.
Right. They were meant to do the white noise from the top rope.
Yeah.
But he got up there, but then he like jumped down, and then he still went and did the move again. Like,
yeah. It was a bit sloppy, but like it could have been a lot worse. In my mind, I'm just like saying like you might as well just fucking just still do it and then hope for the best. But obviously, there's someone's livelihood right there, so he did the right thing and catching himself on the ropes and then doing it. So, but the finish. That was WWE 2K-esque, like a catch finisher. That was it was bad. Like you could see that the pointy part of the boot caught Riddle in the mouth, and obviously he was all busted open. It was a great finish to the match. Hard hitting. I can't fault it. What about you guys?
Sheamus paid tribute to himself by wearing his WrestleMania gear that he beat Daniel Bryan.
I did not know that. Shit. I did know that.
He wore the same look, same everything to how he beat Daniel Bryan. That's why he looks like old Sheamus. He didn't look like new Sheamus.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, fair point.
So he did that. I, for one, have said for the longest that I just don't care for Matt Riddle. didn't really care for him in NXT either. But Matt Riddle is Matt Riddle.
Now they're leaning into the weed head thing. I think I've said that before. Like before, they just made it look like he was just really dumb. But in this
RVD
one,
rolling papers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they definitely. And that segment was freaking awkward. You know that there was like that thing with Great Khali is just like, you want to do this, dude, and he was just standing there like.
Even the Great Khali was probably thought to himself like, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to this, and then RVD came to make the saving grace, and then he's like, oh yeah, my RVD rolling papers. Like, oh, God. But I guess in Florida and in places like that, like weed is legal, isn't it?
I think it's legal. Yeah, it is medicinal weed, but yeah, that was just a really awkward segment, and then Great Khali all of a sudden started talking again, but it was just literally just standing there. I was just like, whatever. But anyway, yeah, like you said.
For this match, though, admittedly, this was the one match of all of the nights. Sorry, one match of all of the nights that I genuinely had no idea what was going on, why it was even happening. I think I remember on the Raw prior, Sheamus told Mustafa Ali to take him out, essentially.
Yeah.
But then, I didn't know, like, did Sheamus win like a battle royal or something like that, or something to become the Monkey tonight? I don't know.
No, he just bumped into him backstage, and then they were talking again about scooter ideas, and then ideas, and then Sheamus just obviously just gut checked him with his own scooter, and then there was a rivalry. He did win a singles match against Riddle, and then on Raw, and then Riddle got pissed. It looked like he was turning heel, but obviously nothing happened, and then. Yeah, then eventually, Sheamus ended up getting a title match.
Okay.
But
I did, and I will say I did. If you think of my predictions, I think I said I wanted Sheamus to win, or I said
same.
Sheamus was going to win, and he did win. So I was like, okay then. So kind of like how you guys say, oh, I fell asleep and woke up and saw the winner. I was doing. I think I was just on my phone and just like doing other stuff in this match. And I think at one point I went to use the bathroom, and then I went to like top up my drink or anything like that. And then when I came in was just when they botched the white noise from the top rope, and then the finish was not too long after that. So and it's funny when the commentators seem like they're so into the match and they're so trying to be behind it all and whatnot. But even I could tell the crowd were kind of silent during this match.
Yeah, it was.
Pipes in noise was doing all of the work.
Yes, 100%. What about you, Matt? Did you care for this match? Was you happy with the winner?
Happy with the winner, but generally, like, I'm just glad that Matt Riddle's hasn't got time anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
It bothered me a little bit. The fact that, well, I know we're going to talk about this, but it's like the next night of Raw, he faced Bobby Lashley. I thought this was going to turn into a WWE title storyline, but glad it didn't.
Oh no! It was just another thing where like just Bobby Lashley just not like Matt Riddle. He just not rate him. He just has a real hatred for Matt Riddle. I don't know what it is. It's crazy, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm happy with the outcome. Did I say Rice's thoughts? No, I haven't, have I? I don't think he said anything. Oh yeah, no, yeah, he did. Hard hitting as expected. Both these guys love to fight. My name's Finlay, and I love to fight. Sorry. Despite Riddle's stupid drug addiction character, while he is in the ring, he can take a whooping. I actually thought he would have won, but at the same time, when Sheamus returned to SmackDown last year, I believed he should have immediately had a push, and he didn't get one. So now maybe his time. I'm intrigued going forward. The match itself was a decent watch. Note: I had fallen asleep, woke up, and saw the winner. Oh my god, this guy. Okay, moving swiftly on. Next match was the Nigerian drum fight between Apollo Crews and Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Now this one for me is a big eye roller for me. Of course, Apollo Crews won and is now the new Intercontinental Champion, thanks to outside interference.
This match was really short though, wasn't it? Like
6 minutes, 6 minutes 50 seconds. Didn't feel like that. Didn't really feel like that. But that just shows that it was.
Felt like this match. I blinked and it finished. I was like, oh, okay. It did. This match was really quick. Like, you know, like normally in like because it's a match with weapons, all that sort of stuff. I expected like stuff to happen.
I was expecting
And-
drums. No drums. Just candlesticks.
There were drums there, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't used.
because I honestly think like come on.
Or because it's people gonna get triggered.
You know full well, like the name itself is trigger worthy.
Look, what else on the show isn't trigger worthy? Come on now, like they might as well just go all in.
No, but the name itself was trigger worthy.
Yeah.
And so you know, on the eve of having two black women be your main event, and they're gonna have like a culturally, in a culturally bad taste match. It's like let's we don't want the smoke. So everybody's thinking go on.
Like, not gonna lie, the way I envisioned it in my head, like, I understand what you mean. It's gonna be trigger worthy because what I was envisioning was like people walking down with drums, just beating the drum, and then tribal chants and stuff like that.
Right. I honestly thought it was gonna be people were gonna be sat outside the ring, and every time like in an Inferno match, every time like they hit the ring, the fire goes up. It was gonna be like I feel like every time something's gonna happen, they're gonna like drum a chant or something like that. I'm like, oh god, please don't let me do this. And then when they played the promo for this and they're like Nigerian drum fight, they were showing like cultural videos and like them playing on the drums and stuff. And I'm like, oh god, I'm like this can go like either completely left or you know, like I was worried for this match watching that promo. I was like, oh god, like please don't do it. And then when Big E was having Wale perform for him. Nice, good performance. So I was here for that. And when he went to the ring, and then you just see like all the weapons scattered out there. There were drums there, but it's just basically a street fight or whatever. And I'm like, okay, they saved themselves there. Like just make it so that these are all weapons, but then in the same breath, don't use the drum as a weapon because I'm pretty sure someone's gonna find a hole to poke in that. So, you know, use kendo sticks, use tables, use chairs, just use everything but what the title of the match is. Again, we don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
But then, the match, like I said, it kind of just like you blinked and then, you know, Apollo Crews won.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like there was a table spot. Did Apollo Crews go through a table? Did he like jump and like miss or something like that? I feel like Big E did his spear to the floor.
Yeah,
and then I just remember like the NXT guy coming in and choke slamming him or something. I don't know.
Fine. I'm not thinking something else. I'll start late tomorrow.
Well, see, I remember him as Babatunde. He was in the Greatest Rumble, and apparently he was on Raw Underground.
You know me, this is
but I don't remember that. I was watching Raw Underground.
Yeah.
So
Commander Aziz. Is it Commander Aziz? Is that his name?
I don't know. Like, you guys know more about it than I do.
It's Commander Aziz. And got the Umaga finisher, and whatever.
It was a whole thing that like you give them all of that hype. You give them they were just the quickest match on any of the cards.
Yep.
And like nothing happened. It's like their match at Fastlane was better, but then
the crap shit. Yeah, crap finish. That's why I think they played it safe because they had 2 botched finishes on their matches. So I think they just played it safe, and it's just like, you know what, let's just get interference. You know, whatever. There ain't gonna be no botches. So I think that's what happened.
But then honestly, like now that this next guy has interfered and whatnot, I honestly need Big E to like just leave this feud alone, just get beaten and just like
you know, it's gonna be a rematch. There's gonna be a rematch of Backlash, and then once that's done, move on maybe to go Money in the Bank, maybe win that.
Well, see, I initially had thought, okay, well, I'll talk about it later, but in terms of Money in the Bank, I don't think it should be Big E. I think Big E should be Rumble.
Okay.
That would be more meaningful.
People have been calling for that. People are hoping that was going to be this year. Obviously not. So,
no, I think that this year would have been too soon for him.
That's what I think as well. Yeah, I think it would have been. That's like, it would be too soon.
Right. Whereas like with he's had his run as IC champ. He's kind of getting his foot in as a solo star. He's still a like subsidiary of the New Day, but he's his own guy, kind of thing. And like, you know, he's got a year to kind of have a couple of decent feuds to kind of put him over and all that sort of stuff, and then give him the big Rumble win.
Yeah. 100%.
In
We'll see.
Yeah, in my opinion.
So Rides has said,
Mm-hmm.
hold on. Oh my goodness, where is it? Apologies, technical difficulties. Apologies.
But people are actually saying that Apollo sounds more Jamaican than Nigerian.
I just don't
get why the accent had to come out in the first place.
Yeah, because like I'll just never forget when he first did it. He was talking American, and then he just completely just switched into it, and I was just like, yeah.
At least he told us that he's going to start speaking with his accent, but then it's just kind of like, how do you go from, so like, for example, look at Kofi Kingston, look at Lana. They went from having accents to now speaking in their regular American accents, which makes sense because over time you're going to adapt to your American accents or whatever. But then with like Apollo Crews, so what he's saying that his American accent was put on, and this is meant to be how he actually sounds.
Yeah. You deserve an award for that, bro.
The only reason why that wouldn't make sense is because that would mean that your American accent should have had a hint of the African twang to it.
Exactly.
He just sounds American.
Yeah.
So it's
that's Vince for you. That's Vince. You got to commit, and
I like that Apollo Crews had the 8K camera in his entrance. Boom. Next
match. Quickly before we move on, Rai said, for a very gimmicky match, this was really good. They made up for their botch at Fastlane. Again, good believable use of face versus heel. Really good build. Face had the home field advantage, but still lost. It was bittersweet. Would have loved to see Big E have a longer title reign. Think he needed it. But Apollo equally needed this win. Maybe a tiny bit more. The feud definitely isn't over. I'll be down to see a long-term feud between them and see E take the title back one day. The insertion of Babatunde. It's not Babatunde.
That was his name in the Greatest Rumble. That's the only thing that I know him from.
I swear that's a different guy.
No, it's the same guy.
Rumble.
Oh, wow. I thought it was always Double Kato. Double Kato. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, yeah. I don't know why I always find that name so funny. It's so bad. I'm so sorry. Don't get triggered, people. Don't get triggered. Yeah, so the insertion of Babatunde makes it more interesting. Character storyline with the whole Nigerian roots thing, adding him to the mix makes perfect sense. Yeah, cause I think that guy is Polish. He was born in Poland, but he has Nigerian heritage, so that's what he mixes into it. Thought it was dumb how the commentators acted like they didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
When you blatantly saw him in Raw Underground, you saw him on getting drafted. Which, by the way, I think I told you when it was off camera. Didn't Dabba Kato originally get drafted to Raw when they did the shuffle, the shake up? But we never saw him since and until now, and now he's on SmackDown. So like that just makes it like all the pointless of even doing the whole shuffle anyway.
It's like the other NXT guy, Arturo Riaz. You've never seen him, even though he got drafted to Raw.
Which guy?
Arturo Ruiz, whatever his name is.
No idea who that is. Is that?
Yeah, who's that in NXT?
Yeah, he was basically a nobody in NXT, and then he got drafted to Raw, and then he was literally never seen again.
Arturo, I'll have to Google him now. What is his name?
Arturo Reyes.
Yeah. It's basically spelled Arturo, and then Ruas.
Wait, hold on. So Arturo Vidal.
Ruas. Or something like that. I think his last name is Ruas. I think, but it's Arturo something.
Arturo Vidal, that's a football player.
There's Arturo Ruas and whatnot. He says that he performs under the ring name, and that he's in. Oh yeah, look, as part of the 2020 draft, he was drafted to Raw, though he was then quickly and quietly moved back to NXT.
They was like, yeah, we don't want this nigga.
But then mind you, I'm looking at his picture here, and I don't know if I can use this picture, but yeah. His picture on, that's him, but I don't know who that is.
I don't know who the fuck that is. Yeah, that was dumb. Clearly, you know that they were gonna do some controversial shit with him, and it was just like no, or he was gonna be a jobber. They said, yeah, we ain't gonna go this route.
He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu type style, so
Yeah, that was dumb. Like they shouldn't have. Why draft him? No one knows who he is. Yeah, he was gonna be a jobber now, and then they're gonna try and release him because you put him as a jobber. Fuck off. Nah,
yeah,
good thing.
And so remember, you guys are saying your particular guy. This is the guy that interfered. And look, Babatunde, see, told you.
He looks different. My bad. I don't know why, but the guy from the Greatest Royal Rumble, I thought he was a black guy.
No,
like a tall black guy. I don't know why. But anyway.
Yeah, it says here though, he is signed to WWE where he performs on the SmackDown brand under the name Commander Aziz.
There you go. Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, moving swiftly on to the co-main event, Rhea Ripley against Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship.
This match was a hard one, hard pill to swallow.
Well, yeah, I mean, I called this one. I knew Rhea Ripley was going to win. Rhea Ripley, of course, like I said, won and is now the new Raw Women's Champion.
They tried to milk the hell out of this match as if to make it seem like it was not an afterthought. This match was literally an afterthought. Like, yeah. It's one of the matches that, so...
There was barely any build.
Well, there was no build. Rhea Ripley turned up one night and said, I want a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then they just...
What build is there?
And then, like, the following week, just to establish who's the face and heel, she did some heelish stuff and turned on Asuka, and then there you go. There's your match. Yeah, so you're right. It was coupled up together. They made her debut a few weeks too late for us to even care about it. You're right. God knows why.
Right. It's one of the ones where it's like there was not enough going into this match.
No.
For it to be that, you know, Asuka's going to drop the title to her. There wasn't enough.
I think
there wasn't enough anything.
I think they were just obviously going on the fact that because she was at WrestleMania last year, she was in a really high stakes match with Charlotte. She doesn't really need like validation, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's already faced the top tier, even though she lost, but she was there. So that's why she has a bit. She doesn't really. People know her already as well. That's why I think that's what WWE thought. Even though that's wrong mindset. There should be a build because it's WrestleMania. You don't cobble up matches at last minute to put on WrestleMania. WrestleMania is where it's meant to be the culmination of long-term feuds. I know long-term feud it's almost like it's forbidden in WWE's eyes, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So yeah, I totally get it.
I think the longest running feud right now is Apollo and Big E if they continue with it.
Yeah, going after WrestleMania, yeah. Or even the Daniel Bryan and Edge thing. That's been going on since WrestleMania. I mean, Royal Rumble, so...
Yeah, but then they weren't really feuding. That was more like them just wanting Roman Reigns' belt and they're both on each other's... bumping heads with each other to try to get to that belt, as opposed to them actually having a one-on-one feud, you know?
Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, one-on-one.
It's like a three-way feud in the sense that, so Edge is feuding with Roman was feuding with Bryan's feuding with Roman, but then now it became all three of them.
Yeah.
But there's like, instead of just one-on-one feuds, I think, well, actually, because Randy Orton and Fiend is now officially done, that was the longest running, because that's been running since...
That's from last year. Yeah.
And then, what's it called? But yeah, I think the longest one right now is Big E and Apollo. That's been running since the Rumble or just before that.
Yeah.
That's so correct, yeah, the longest running feud right now.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I was fine with the winner. What's your thoughts on that, Matt? On Rhea Ripley versus Asuka?
To be honest, I have nothing to say on that.
Okay, fair enough.
Why do you have nothing to say? Because you don't care.
To be honest, I don't even know what to say. To be honest.
Okay.
I mean,
you just didn't care for the match.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, I get that because, like, even though I advocate for women and I will stand women's wrestling and whatnot, I did not care for this match either. It was last minute, and I just kind of thought it's a slap in the face because Asuka, along with Banks, along with Bailey, were like the in-ring generals during the pandemic. Yeah. And for her, and if she was going to drop into Rhea Ripley, it's like the way that she did and the way that she's been treated for the last sort of month or two has been like abysmal and appalling considering who she is.
When it comes to championship runs, when it comes to the end of a championship run, Asuka has pretty much the worst luck. Like, she lost to Charlotte. The streak was broken. She lost it on Raw because what is it? Kairi Sane got attacked backstage and she lost it in some dumb shit ways. Now this one, like a coupled up feud, just for her to lose it at Mania. When she lost it on a random episode of SmackDown to Charlotte. When it comes to the end of her tenure, it's never in a satisfying way. It's in some it's always a slap in the face for her. So I totally get that. She has the worst luck when it comes to finishing up her run or finishing up her reign as champion. It's never satisfying. The only time it was satisfying was when she was in NXT, and she officially lost it to, was it Kairi Sane or was it Shayna Baszler?
No, she didn't lose it. She gave it.
Oh yeah, she gave it up. There you go. Yeah, she did. Yeah, you're right.
She was moving to the main roster.
Yes.
She was injured in it.
Yes.
She was moving to the main roster, and so they had that fatal 4-way match, and Ember Moon won.
Yes.
So she awarded it to Ember Moon.
Yeah, that was it. You're right. Yeah. So yeah,
Ember Moon won in fatal 4-way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. She just has the worst luck at the end. I don't know why. They just don't rate her when it comes to the end of the title race. They wanted to end it or finish in a really convoluted, dumb way, but whatever. What did Riot say on this match? It said, "I feel like anything related to the women's tag." Oh no, that's the women's tag titles. Hold on. There we go. Wait, what? Oh shit! You know what? I got it the wrong way around. Freaking hell. Okay, so what he said for the women's title match, he said, "Let's just get this out of the way. Good back and forth match, really nice counters, cool spots, hard hitting moments, but terrible results. Spits on ground." So he actually doesn't agree that Rhea Ripley won. He did advocate for Asuka. What he said for the tag title match, he said, this is what he said, "I feel like anything related to the women's tag titles at this year's Mania was just forgettable, unfortunately. From what I remember, it was a good solid tag team match, but I honestly don't have much else to say." That's what he said for that one. So yeah, I got them mixed up. That was smart of me. So yeah, moving swiftly on to the main event, the piece de resistance, the Universal title match between Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, Daniel Bryan and Edge for the Universal title.
I feel like this promo was also on par with.
I like the layout of the promo. Yeah, it was nice. I did like it. I think it's because they kept on. I think it was like the fourth time I saw it during the whole night. I was just like, I was tired of it. But the layout of it, I agree. It was good. It was. Yeah, everyone had their individual segment, and then they meshed in together at the end. So yeah, it was great.
Right.
The setup was good. At first, obviously, of course, the winner was obviously Roman Reigns retaining, and which I was hugely happy for. I was ready for Daniel Bryan to take the W because it was the way it was leading up to it. It looked like it was going to happen. It was going to be a rehash of what happened at WrestleMania 30. But I think it was going to, like him against two heels. It was just
I honestly thought it was going to be Edge. I'm not going to lie.
Same man.
Like I said, the way things happen is usually, when you said with the format of WrestleMania is that one champion loses, the other one wins. I think that also they're gonna merge that also with Royal Rumble winners. Now there's two Rumble winners. One Rumble winner wins, the other one loses, or retains or whatever. Yeah. So I didn't really think that. I don't think no one really wanted Edge. Like, for it to go to another heel, it doesn't make sense. Like, how often does it?
Was Edge officially a heel?
Oh, he's a fucking heel, man! Come on, he's a fucking heel. Edge is definitely a heel. Ever since, obviously there was some hints with it at Fastlane when he obviously attacked both Roman and Daniel Bryan, and then on SmackDown, I think he got introduced by Adam Pearce, and then he literally, I know it's nothing major, but he did like heelish things. He came out, he swiped the thing out, the book out of Edge's hand, out of Adam Pearce's hand. You could tell he was pissed at Daniel Bryan. He was saying, "You're a son of a bitch," all this kind of stuff. The promos that he gives now is way more intense and way more aggressive than he did as he was as a face. Like, because when he's a face, he's more calm, he's collected. He says like, "I have grit," all this kind of stuff. But this was old school rated R superstar Edge. So he was definitely heel.
It wasn't the promos that he was cutting like because I thought it was the same sort of style as when he was facing Randy Orton. That were just intense promos.
I don't think it was that intense. I don't think it was that much. Like he's definitely a heel. I think it's confirmed that he's a heel. Like he definitely was. And like these mannerisms, the way he's going on, huh?
They didn't pipe in any abuse for him. They let him have cheers.
I didn't really listen that intently. I didn't really pay attention really. If they did, then obviously they're fucking stupid because it doesn't really make sense. Like he doesn't do babyface things. He's completely different from when he first came. So it's just like it doesn't really make any sense. He might as well call him a heel. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be a rehash of what happened at WrestleMania 30. It was hard hitting. There was some close calls where I thought like, oh shit, Reigns is gonna win, or even Edge was gonna win. Like the way things set up was like, okay, Daniel Bryan's down, Edge hits the spear. I thought, yeah, it was gonna be a wrap. But yeah, I think the right person won. I think now, like I think I said it before in previous episodes. Now that WWE have where they wanted Reigns, where it was to be like, everyone is on board with him, whether he's a face or a heel. They want to keep this thing running. Obviously, there was that chance that they might say, all right, let's not run this to the ground. But then again, that's what WWE likes to do sometimes. They like to run things into the ground until people get sick and tired of it. Right now, I don't think anyone's really tired of Roman Reigns. Like, they got him at the perfect position.
In the entrance, which I did think it was a coup for Roman Reigns to make us wait. Like, we waited like a whole minute for him to come out.
Yeah.
They played his. First of all, I thought it was a technical thing, but then it would make sense that if he's ahead of the table, he'll come out when he's ready. And sit there for a whole minute of just his music playing and him not coming out, and now his music started looping, and then he walks out. You're like, rah, okay. Anyway, yeah, it's like, oh. And then it's like, so there was that, and then it's that thing where how can I put it? I could hear that it's that thing where they played his music super loud. So in comparison to everyone else's music, when his music played, it was like really, really loud.
Yeah.
And they were piping in the boos. So
yeah.
I thought it was meant to be like a mixed reaction, but then although typically it did sound like a mixed reaction, like he was getting boos, but he was also getting cheers. So I was like, oh, are they piping in the boos because everyone's cheering for him now? But then, I remember I commented on one of the Bleachers' tweets or whatever, saying that, oh, but you could hear on TV they were piping in the boos, so he must have been getting cheers and whatnot. And then someone sent me like a live video, and the crowd are booing.
Okay.
Booing. So I don't know if the Big Roman Reigns is still the trend right now, or if people genuinely dislike him. But he's getting.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if he's genuinely been disliked, he's doing his job right. I think they're playing him like perfectly, in my opinion, with this role. Yeah, I remember when he was a face. I remember they used to really pipe in the cheers when people were really sick and tired of Reigns. I don't know, and then there was like it was to the point where even the commentators were saying like, and look at all the fans cheering for the big dog. Like, no, you're piping a freaking hairdryer immensely and playing his music loudly. We can hear it. We know the difference. But yeah, if they're booing, I don't think it's because they're tired of him. I think it's just because he's a downright dirty dog right now. He's just an awesome heel. The match was main event worthy. I think it was hard hitting, near finishes, and the
match of the night for me.
I would say match of the night as well. Yeah, I would say it's definitely, and even the finish.
It was literally the saving grace of WrestleMania night 2.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Yeah, and the finish as well. Like instead of he piled them up, like just I am the top dog kind of thing. It was freaking awesome. Yeah, I loved everything about this match. It was freaking great. You writes his thoughts on this one. He said, "Now this was a main event. Solid. The excitement off the edge of your seat. Jey Uso was amazing, which he was. He had a good hand in this. Paul Heyman's facial expressions were amazing. This was on point. I believed so much that Bryan was going to win because I thought he should. I thought it was time for Reigns to be dethroned. I'm not bored of him at all. And this is Rise with talking. I'm not bored of him at all. just in regards to storyline in WrestleMania, perfect opportunity for the babyface to overcome. Yeah. Bryan wrestled like he needed to win in order to live. Edge wrestled like he never retired, which is true, because I thought that's the reason they made it a triple threat, so he can, cardio was not on his side. He could rest. But yeah, he played his part. Phenomenal shape and stamina. Reigns might have been the player of the match. Such a great character and performer. And although I went in rooting for Bryan by the end, before the match even finished, I was saying Reigns has to win. After doing what he did and then putting them two bodies on top of each other, nah. I acknowledge him as my tribal chief. Damn straight. He is definitely the head of the table, man. 110%, man. It was badass. Can't fault it. What about you, Matt? What's your thoughts on the match?
But one of the things that I'm wondering now is that with Edge, what do they do with him? Especially how they made a point about saying it's 10 years from when he retired.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for Daniel Bryan. It just makes sense. Because me personally, I thought that like if Bryan won, it was still gonna be Daniel Bryan and Edge. Reigns goes away for a while. Come SummerSlam, whoever stands at the end of that feud between Bryan and Edge, he goes and attacks them, and then they have their own little thing. Most likely Reigns against Bryan. They finally have their one-on-one match or another one-on-one match. But yeah, this way I think like Reigns will go on. I don't know what he's gonna do next, but most likely Daniel Bryan and Edge is probably gonna have their own thing going. There's talks right now that the only right now people are saying that the next person to really dethrone him now, I'm talking Reigns, is probably Brock Lesnar. The seeds that are there, it makes sense because obviously Paul Heyman. But then again, does anyone really want to see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar 3? No, not even 3. They faced plenty of times after that, haven't they? No, it's 3.
They headlined WrestleMania twice.
Yeah, nothing at Crown Jewel. I swear it was a Saudi show.
Yeah, there was Steel Cage.
Yeah, I thought so. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, there was. Greatest Rumble.
Yeah. So it'd be Roman Reigns 4, Roman Reigns Lesnar 4. Does anyone want to see that? But then again, this is different Roman Reigns, and this will be a different Lesnar. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and also we narrowly missed out on Reigns versus Strowman versus Lesnar as well.
Yeah, but even that match was shit when it was just between them two.
No one wants to see that either. But, so here's my thing. So this year, I think, is the first year. I mean, I don't know if you. So like, I can't put it. So this would have been the year that basically, it's the first year that all of the main title matches. Oh, so I say main, but the top 2 male title matches were actual matches. So we didn't get a finisher spot fest for one of the matches and a match for the other one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like last year we still had 2 finisher fests with Strowman and Goldberg, and then Lesnar and McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then the year before it was Lesnar and
Goldberg.
Rollins. No, Lesnar and Rollins.
Oh yeah, Lesnar and Rollins. Yeah.
And what was the main one? I forgot the other one. Oh, Kofi and Daniel Bryan. So yeah, we had like if you count Lesnar and Rollins, I still count that as a finisher fest.
It was. Yeah.
And then Kofi and Bryan had an actual match. So as I say, the balance normally is one of the matches is going to be the finisher fest.
Yeah.
The other one is going to be a match. And yeah, this is the year that the WWE title match, they had a match. The Universal title match, they had a match.
Yeah. I was because I was also expecting. Because it was the first match, and I thought I was expecting Drew McIntyre was going to win. I thought it was just going to be Claymore Kick City. That's what I was expecting. And then Drew was going to win. But I guess he already had that.
Match.
Sorry?
Claymores and Spears all match.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
I thought it was going to be just Spears and Claymores.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess, like, it would be kind of unfair to give that to Drew twice in a row. Because he can actually wrestle. He's fine with cardio. He's fine with all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it was a fitting end to the night. It definitely saved night 2. I totally agree. But yeah. Also, just before we get the final review. So what are your thoughts on the WrestleMania hosts? Big ups to Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil, yeah?
Okay, so what we're not going to do is do any kind of shout outs or anything positive to Mr. Hulk Hogan, okay? Like, we don't do that on this platform, people. We don't.
We don't. That was hilarious. How, especially in night 2.
Booed.
As soon as he opened his mouth, what you gonna do? Boo! Boo this man. And it was just even worse. Anytime, because you could tell like he was trying to call Titus his brother, and like he wasn't doing that. Tell me something now, brother. He was like actually calling him like, and he was all saying yo, all this kind of stuff. I was just like, and it was immense heat, and you could tell he was uncomfortable. He was so uncomfortable. And
I guess he's
say again.
He's not used to that reaction.
Of course he's not. And then anytime Titus spoke, he got cheered. Like he was, he was laughing inside. He was just like, "This is beautiful. This is freaking beautiful." Titus was reveling. He was eating it up, 110%. It was great. But yeah, shout out to Titus O'Neil. No shout out to the other guy. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, what's your overall rating for night 2 of WrestleMania? Let's go from that. Wait, who two we go? Yeah, Rhymes. What's your
7?
7.
And the only reason it got to 7 was because the main event was the saving grace.
Okay, that makes sense. Matthew, what about you?
Probably say 6.5.
Ooh, and I thought Rhymes one was freaking more brutal. Okay,
right. He's trying to be more harsh than me. Can you justify?
Hell has frozen over.
Go on, just justify your low rating.
Not gonna lie, majority of the matches I wasn't really interested in. Well, wasn't interested in, disappointed, and I feel like they could have been done better. The only match I didn't really have the only match I didn't have any criticism for was the main event, basically.
Right.
But aside from that, I was disappointed by a lot of it, what happened.
Yeah. Okay. I get that.
Yeah. No, I understand that. This was definitely the weakest one, but like the main event saved its ass 110%. There was some good matches sprinkled in there 100%. It was still quite fun. I'm gonna give this one an 8. I'm gonna give this one an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. That
means collectively we all fall on a 7.
And there you go. Then 7. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's the collective average, a 7 for night 2, whereas a unanimous 9 for night 1. So overall, WrestleMania balances out as an 8.
Well, hold on. Well, Rise says on his overall, it's a good showing, not as good as night 1. There were more matches on this night that weren't great compared to night 1, although there were some 5-star matches. 8 out of 10.
So he gave night 2 an 8.
Yeah.
So what did he give night 1?
9.5.
Okay, so 9 in the first night. He gave it an 8. You gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so averages at 7.5. So overall an 8/9 for both nights. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's about cool.
I mean, yeah, so, it's been the best Mania in a long while.
A long time. But then, okay, so now I pose the question to you guys then. Do you guys think moving forward, WrestleMania should always be 2 nights?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Instead of cramming it all down into everyone on one card and just makes it long, like it's taxing. I mean, we've both seen it live. We've watched it on TV and I've been in it live. It's taxing. Especially when the card isn't evenly matched. Where there's been a couple Manias where there's a match that everyone's looking forward to, and then like the energy is drained out of them, and then they just don't have any energy for the main event. Like everyone was psyched up for Daniel Bryan versus Kofi. The energy was high on that. Everyone was loving it. And then when it came to the main event, Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda Rousey, everyone was just waiting to go home. We was knackered. It was like, not to say that the match was boring. It was just that the energy was just, we just didn't have enough to give. And then as soon as I remember as soon as it hit 3, we didn't care about how bad the finish was or how odd it was. We was just like, yep, thank you very much. You know what I mean? We just couldn't wait to leave. It was
Right, 'cause
so.
now it's the mad rush to try to get to your car, try to get to your transport.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I told you if they want to try and actually put so many people on the card, make sure if they go get the paycheck and whatnot, split it to 2 nights, man. Wrestle Kingdom does it, and it works for them. New
See, but
Japan, I mean.
here's the thing though, because I guess I don't know if last year it was because there was no crowd, and because it was during a time where in the pandemic, I guess everyone was at that point so bored and so kind of like just looking for escapes, I guess you could say. So therefore, it's almost kind of like you were just grateful that there's something to go on. And again, no crowd, so we're just working off of whatever you internally feel for a match and stuff like that. And so last year, I feel like both nights were balanced,
right?
Because of that. Whereas this year, it really did feel as though maybe it's because because of the whole we know that WrestleMania is having fans, it's outside, they're having their big arena, and they're kind of getting back to some sort of normalcy in terms of their production or in terms of what WrestleMania is going to be. And then we had the weather happen, so we're still being delayed, and they're still kind of like not giving us or able to give us what they want to do. And then so there was such a kind of buzz or such a kind of an energy that night one I think could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas night two, it kind of just fell flat in comparison because there was so much hype for night one. Even though night two, if you look at it, night two had the stacked card. You had the Fiend and Orton, you had the supposed street fight, you had the triple threat match, you had the United States title match, you had all these matches on there that were like gonna give you like the good. It's like if you could put the 2 nights together, essentially night one was the filler night. Like, if you look at it and look at what was on night one.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. The second night is meant to be obviously the best. That's how it's meant to be anyway. The second night is meant to be the one where the biggest matches happen. So yeah,
right. And if you look at the first night in terms of the matches for paper value and everything like that, night two was stacked. Night one was very kind of like, oh, there's some matches that will be good in here, but it's a taster basically. Yeah. But yet night one delivered and night two fell flat. So now it's going to be a thing where if next year they decided to still do WrestleMania 2 nights or whatever, do you think now it's going to be that thing where no one wants to be on night 2, you want to be on night 1?
Boy, I mean, it's hard to decide. You just don't know. I wasn't expecting. No one was expecting night 1. Like you said, no one expected that, but it happened the way it did. Night 1 was better than night 2. People could easily just say, "Oh, I don't want to be on night 2," and then that actually happens to be the best one. So yeah, I don't know. Right now, it doesn't look like they're doing 2 nights because it's just booked for April 2nd. So
I didn't even look at the date.
Yeah,
I just looked at when they said WrestleMania was coming to Houston or whatever. I didn't even look at the date.
It's April 2nd right now, and it's just for 1 night. So like I said, it's subject to change. I don't see why they can't like sell out, because that holds like 100,000 people. So why not do that 2 nights and boast about it? You know what I mean?
200,000 people attending WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Lord.
they will do that. Vince will let you be like, yes.
That could be a trip for next year.
Jacob?
That could be a trip for next year.
Or WrestleMania.
I've been
meaning to go to one.
So I've been to that one. The area's shit, but the stadium's cool. There's nothing to do in Texas. I'm sorry if there's any Texan fans here. I'm sorry, but I went touring and I was bored as hell.
There's good weather and good food. That's all I want. If I'm in America, all I want is good weather.
Yeah, the food is good, but the area that it surrounds it's not welcoming. But the stadium is fucking awesome though. It is massive. And it's transportation there is quite easy as well. Really good. Can't fault that. But yeah, definitely. I want to go to the one afterwards. I think the next one is in Hollywood, yes. I want to go to that one. Definitely, I want to go to that one.
Isn't that one also an outside arena though? Do you want to go to an outside arena?
I think it's just like AT&T where it's closed and open, because that was gonna be. Remember, we was planning to go there this year. Yeah, we was planning to go for this year, and it's at the new SoFi Stadium, so it's brand new. But yeah, I think it's a mixture as well. You can close it and open it as well. So yeah, and it looks massive. It looks just as big as the one at AT&T Stadium as well. So, but yeah, that's the one I want to go to, 110%. LA is super cool.
I'm 100% here for it going down to WrestleMania. But you know, if they do decide to start doing it different nights and all that sort of stuff, I'm here for it. If they want to try to get us to sit through 6 to 7 hours worth of wrestling,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could do that again. But
that's just it. Like I was explaining that to like even like just my friend the other day, because he's like, oh, with WrestleMania, he's like, it's going over 2 nights. He's like, didn't it used to be just one night back in the day? And I was like, yep. And I was like, within the last few years, for some reason, WrestleMania has become like an all-day thing. And he's like, how do you mean? So I'm like, literally all day, as in like, so I think on TV it might start at something like, if in America it starts at something like 3 in the afternoon, and then it finishes at like 11 at night. And he's like, really? And I was like, yep. WrestleMania really is like a thing where you over here, you start watching it at 9 in the evening. Come 5 in the morning, you're still there.
Yeah, it's like it's a
how
drag.
am I still here watching wrestling? I do not know.
It's so bad. But yeah, definitely keep it going. It's more money for them. I mean, they'll rake in people.
If you can get 200, if you can get 200K to turn up both nights, it's like, I mean,
it's a no-brainer.
Like, right, even if like, and then even such thing where you can invite, like, because I guess they have their press friends and all that sort of stuff. You can get certain people to go one night, certain people to go on the second night.
Yeah,
they can make that work.
Yeah. Did you see what Randy Orton said? Apparently, he got charged $20,000 to get to fly his family over for the event.
What? So wait, he got paid for that? Or
he had to pay $20,000 to get his family to come over to watch the event. I'm just like, fuck it, no. I know it's chump change to him, but I mean, like, $20,000 though. Like, it's Randy Orton, but whatever. That's fair enough.
He has money, like, you know.
Oh yeah. I know he's set. It's just hilarious.
And he's been working all through this pandemic as well. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever.
Fair enough.
20,000 to bring my family up. Man, shut up.
Oh man. Okay, and just quickly wrap it up as well. So that's our thoughts on WrestleMania. Let's just quickly dabble into post WrestleMania Raw. Pretty much one of the worst.
I was on the Thunderdome.
Oh yes, Mr. Rams was also on the Thunderdome. If you might see him, he's on that.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
This T-shirt on Raw. Yeah. If you see this logo, you see me clapping and stuff. I'm only in the first portion though. My link for some reason expired.
Yeah, they banned him. I think he was too busy I think he was going to do something controversial, and then they just banned him.
I was drinking in a clear cup. I think they might have thought it was alcohol. So they banned me. I don't know. But oh
my God, he's sipping lean. Take him off.
No, I didn't get banned. It just said that my session had expired.
Yeah, that's just a soft way of saying it.
It wasn't bad.
You got bananaed.
So I was in the beginning section, so from Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle. Yes, anything in that section, you see me on the screens and stuff like that. Like, yeah, mad cool. I'm like, from the hard camera angle, I'm in the northeast and the northwest section of the arena. So I'm not hard camera, like in front of the TV, but I'm on those 2 corners. This T-shirt right here.
Fair enough.
I did hear that they switch it every 15 minutes, like who's on the Thunderdome.
Well, I thought that too, but then the weird thing is that the people that were on the hard camera bit in the middle were the same people throughout like 2 hours of the show. It only changed at the end, so they all got longer than I did. Like I said, I think it was probably because I had a seafood cup of Coke. Literally just drinking Coke. I wasn't even drinking alcohol, just drinking Coke. And I think that maybe they thought it was like alcohol. So, whatever. I don't know if it was like a red cup or like a blue cup or something like that, like, you know, the party cups, but it wasn't. It was just the seafood cups.
Fair enough. But yeah, going back on the show quality, absolutely disappointing. The returns were obviously Charlotte, because she's only gone for 1 month, so that's a big return. The Viking the Viking Raiders, even though I just got told that apparently they were in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I didn't even know they were in there.
Both of them were as well. So
but the commentators didn't say otherwise. They were just like saying, "Oh, they're back after 7 months." So I was just like, "Oh, okay." Hardly any of the champions were there, and if they were just for at the beginning of the show.
Were any of the champions there?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley.
Only Lashley and Rhea Ripley were there.
That's what I'm saying. Half the champions. Yeah. That was it. There was no tag team champions. There was no U.S. champion.
Not even any 24/7 champion. Like, no one.
Oh wait, didn't Nia and Shayna like appear in like a backstage segment?
Yeah, and they had a match.
They had a match.
But no one cared. Like, I skipped through it. I didn't even know who won. I think Dana Brooke and Thingy won. I remember I skipped it right.
No,
And then,
they didn't win. They walked out, which was such a stupid decision. I don't know who the hell booked that. It made no sense. So
see, I didn't see that.
So basically, you know how so the story going into this match was that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were laughing and Mandy Rose falling, right? So they end up having their match, and it's like Nia Jax tripped twice. I guess it was staged. Like she tripped getting into the ring, and then she tripped trying to get into the ring again, like on in the match. And so the whole thing is that Mandy and Dana Brooke were laughing at her for that, and so Nia Jax got mad. So then Mandy and Dana Brooke literally got out of the ring and walked up the ramp, and they're like, "It's not worth it. It's not worth it." It's like, what the hell? Like, and then they're literally just saying the whole time, "It's not worth it." And then Nia Jax is like, "Come to the ring, like, calm down now." And they're like, "Oh, we're not doing that. It's not worth it." And the ref counted them out, and it was kind of like,
wow,
a really baffling story.
See what I mean?
They're meant to be the faces and stuff like that. Faces not walk out of the match because it's not worth it.
See what I mean?
It just seems so stupid.
Dumb. There was a triple threat match at the end. The writing was on the wall. I knew that Drew McIntyre was going to win.
That was so dumb.
Exactly.
Mind you, though, given the three that were involved, it's like I don't care for any of them.
Nope.
Against the thingy, it's like, you know, it's that whole thing of like, so I can understand why, I guess, all three women's champions right now, including NXT, I can understand why they've decided that all of them changed this year, because it's like, okay, then, so basically it's a breath of fresh air. It's new storylines, it's new everything, new opportunities. How they go about it is a different story, but again, it's a washout, it's a whole wipe the slate clean, fresh start. So you had Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns retain, and it's like, okay then, but then because they were credible champions, there's a chance to again still start afresh with them, but just with different people. But yet the very first night on Raw, all three people who
have
been
recycled
in the title picture within the last year, are still trying to go for it. So it's like it just.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm really over it. Yeah, like I said, it's just gonna be a rehash of matches on Backlash. Like I said, maybe an addition when it comes to the women's with Asuka and Rhea Ripley. They had a rematch, and then Charlotte decided to turn heel and then attack them both. So most likely it's gonna be a triple threat match, possibly even winning it. I fear so much every time Charlotte is in a title match, because there's most likely she's gonna fucking win. Because they just want to shoot her up into the winning 16 title reigns.
And I really don't get that. It's like she's still so young. She's got many years left in her. Like, I would like if she went like a year in the kind of Nikki Bella-esque run, in the sense. You remember in 2016 when Nikki Bella was on SmackDown, she had a match on every single pay-per-view and was always being used. She was just not in the title picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she was just like used in other aspects. I want that for Charlotte. I really do. I think that she can carry stories and be with other superstars and not necessarily just have a year out of the title picture. Like, just let her do.
I just don't know. Yeah.
Everything, and then let her win all her titles and stuff like next year or something like that. After the next WrestleMania, like, give her a clean break and just like not keep shoving her down our throats.
Yeah, no, it's I just don't know why they're so eager to do it. Like, it's like we don't have short-term memory loss. Like, just let it marinate.
The thing I don't understand, and it's very small, this one, is that they included the tag team title reign with Asuka as like part of her reigns, when I'm sure like people like Randy Orton and stuff like that, they don't count their tag team reigns as like saying that they're like
But with the men, they do that thing where they'll be like, oh, you are a 12-time world champion, 11-time IC champion, 2-time US champion, 3-time tag team champion. They do all that sort of stuff. Whereas with the women, it's like Charlotte's a 13-time champion, but then within that she was a tag team champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was, so within her reigns, I think they're including her tag team and are they including her NXT runs? I don't know, but they're including basically everything that she won on the main roster. So she's only 13 because of that women's title run.
I think they included everything in that. I think.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, she was only a 1-time NXT champion, so honestly, they're only including that once.
Yeah.
So she'd still be, if you're gonna take those two out, she's still an 11-time champion, which is again 11 times. That's a lot.
In such a short space of time, like it's mad. It's
It's like 5 or 6 years, and she's like been 11 champions. She's been champion 11 times in 6 years. So
Yeah.
it's like the numbers don't add up.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But yeah, fair enough. But other than that, it was a poor Raw Raw after Mania, worst one in years. I think you said earlier as well. You wouldn't mind seeing Seth Rollins and Sheamus team up randomly against was it Cesaro and Sheamus? I mean, that didn't make sense. But
it's Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston.
That one.
Unified match, and then we got the Bar randomly attacked them. And
yes.
Kind of like, what fresh hell is this? I feel like they topped that bad decision this
year
with like this.
With a whole show, if anything, with a whole show.
Right.
I mean, like at least there was some good decent moments in that Raw. But this one was just a standard bad episode of Raw. There was nothing exciting about it. So let's hope that Raw SmackDown kind of sets the pace properly, which I'm sure they will. It's the better show anyway. That's our thoughts on WrestleMania and Raw after Mania as well. What are your thoughts on both shows and both nights, I should say? Make sure you leave your comments below. Make sure obviously you like and subscribe to the channel as always. But yeah, we come to the end of the show, guys. Thank you very much, Mr. Rhymes and Matthew, for joining us on this glorious WrestleMania review. Feel free to drop your social medias below.
Okay, so for me, it is at Mr. MR_RYMZ, and that's across all social media platforms.
Yes. And Matthew?
My Instagram username is Matt M McKay MCKY. Just on Instagram.
Yes. Make sure you check that out, and of course, follow yours truly at official_TITTT. That is official_TITTT. I love TTTTTs. Whatever. Stop laughing at me.
Even if you said triple T.
T. But you might be surprised. You might someone actually writes in the word triple and then T. Like, actually, I might have to put that. Yeah, that's a good shout.
TITTT.
Yeah, TITTT. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, yeah. As always, I have been your host, Chaos. He has been your Mr. Let me start again, shall I? Yeah. Take two. I have been your host, Chaos. He has been Matthew. He has been Mr. Rhymes. This has been Take It to the Table.